We'll try again. Good afternoon and welcome to Guiseley AFC Radio here at Nethermoor for this afternoon's Vanarama Conference North game on New Year's Day between the Lions and Harrogate Town. It's another Yorkshire derby and it promises to be quite a tasty one indeed. I'm Colin Robertson. Alongside me is Tom Feaheny for this afternoon's match. Tom, we hope for more entertainment and more of a spectacle than we got at Wetherby Road, and we're certainly seeing a resurgent Harrogate Town in the last couple of days, so this really does promise to be quite a key encounter.
Yeah, I think when you look at the end of the season, there always seems to be a couple of games during this festive period that seem to be just a little bit more important than the rest, and today feels like that game. I feel that the game on Boxing Day just lacked a couple of chances really for either side to really, have that spark. And Alex Johnson came on and he did have a really good chance at the end, and Andy Holdsworth nearly scored as well. But I don't think there were any real clear-cut chances, and hopefully today it'll be a bit more of an open game. Two sides that will be aiming for the 3 points, and like you said, it might actually help that Harrogate Town have a bit more confidence. They might want to push out a little bit more than they did on Boxing Day, but all in all it makes for an interesting game. And in these lovely weather conditions as well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, the rain here is quite heavy at the moment. It's held off, and fortunately we are going to be able to get a game on this afternoon, which was always a bit of a question given the heavy weather that we've experienced in Guiseley this last week or so. Of course, the AFC Fylde game had to be called off on Sunday, which was a great disappointment to the club. But here we are. We're here for New Year's Day action at Nethermoor. The fans are emerging and steadily congregating in the ground looking for a patch of cover, and Jamie Woodhouse has been out and about. He's been trying to catch the views of the Guiseley fans and spoke to Craig Shearston.
I'm here speaking to Craig, Secretary of the Sports Club, about the upcoming game. So Craig, do you feel that Guiseley will have Harrogate well scouted, considering they've only played them on Boxing Day?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we will. I mean, it's a local team, so we're very well acquainted with their tactics, and of course we know what to expect from Mrs. Swain and Walshaw. So I'm sure we'll be keeping them very closely underhand.
On the flip side, do you think that Harrogate will have a good handle on Guiseley's tactics for today? Do you think we need to spring some surprises on them?
No, I think we just need to keep our heads, play our game, and play it at our pace. We're at home now, and it is Fortress Nethermoor.
Do you think that in this upcoming match, considering Harrogate's draw against Barrow, they'll play with a lot of confidence, and that's something guys will need to watch out for?
Oh, without a doubt, they'll be full of confidence coming here after their performance over at Barrow. But as I said, we're at Nethermoor now. We're at home. We know what to expect, and I'm sure that Mark has got the plans in place to deal with it all.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Well, that was excellent little interview there with Jamie Woodhouse speaking to Craig Shearston, who is of course busy selling Christmas Club tickets as well for the cash draw this afternoon. So he's got a view that we've got a fortress here at Nethermoor, Tom, and that this is where we'll see the points and the performances build up.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think when Nethermoor is full and the crowd are making plenty of noise, it is really a great ground to be at, and the players do build off what the crowd do. You know, if we get about 300 fans, they're making plenty of noise. We do seem to just maybe play that little bit better, maybe that extra 10% the fans can give you. And you know, when you look at our away form though, we've done really well on the road so far this season, and I think one or two of our home performances, maybe, you know, especially the Gloucester game and the Gainsborough game, were very disappointing, and our away form has been very good. So it could also be a case of us just wanting to up our home form just that little bit more, because if our home form is as good as our away form, I think we will go up automatically.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, actually. I mean, the home fixtures haven't seen us get the results that we necessarily expected, and certainly, I mean, you point to the Gainsborough and the Gloucester games as very good examples of, you know, teams that when we went to their place we turned them over, but here we were pulled apart, weren't we, in those two matches? And you know, this could be a great resolution for us to really get that home form and get those home performances mounted, because just look how well that's served Barrow undefeated at the top of the table.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you can make your home your fortress, you've got a great chance of doing well in this league. For Guiseley, their away form has been that bit better, and I think it's just a difference in play. When you play away from home, maybe the pressure isn't as far on you as it is when you're at home. And there have been a couple of games this season. The Chorley game, I look at that and I think the performance just wasn't there when we were playing at home. And yet, in away games, we didn't play very well against Gloucester here. We then went to Gloucester and put in a fantastic performance. And it just seems like Mark's just got to work out just change one or two little things and make our home form as good as our away. And if we do that, like I've said, touch wood and all that, but we'll be going up automatically.
There's plenty to do between now and then. But, of course, it was a fairly dismal draw against Harrogate on Boxing Day. Here's what Mark Bauer had to say about it when he spoke to me after the match. I'm joined now by Mark Bauer after the Boxing Day 0-0 draw at Harrogate Town. Mark, very difficult conditions pitch and very not exactly a classic, is it?
No, it must have been appalling really for anyone watching it. Certainly the neutrals will have gone home with not a very good impression of Conference North football. It was difficult. They certainly set up to play very, very direct, some big lads in their side, and I think we got sucked into that a little bit in the first half. They were putting it on us. I thought we dealt with that quite well. It's just that when we had the opportunity to break and when we had possession of the ball, I didn't think we used it well. They played their three centre halves up against. We had Boise playing up against their three centre halves, and our extra man was in that. In the three in behind, OJ, Wayne, and Gavin. Just never really used that on enough occasions, which led to us, being under a bit more pressure than we needed to be. Really, I don't think they ever really had anything clear cut, and I certainly don't think that either team could claim to have been deserving of a win. So I think it was a fair result, and happy with a clean sheet, because you can easily lose those kind of games 1-0 and move on. Another game in 2 days' time.
There's very little space out there, it seemed, on the field. Do you think it'll be a different case when we get back to Nethermoor?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I know they've narrowed their pitch and certainly try and make it as tight as possible, and that suits the way they play. Well, having said that, you speak to a lot of managers in the league, and 1 week Harrogate will be passing it from the back, and the next, they'll be sticking it forward at the earliest opportunity, which is what they did today. But it was difficult for us. I thought we could have been better, but you're not going to be, can't play well every week, and when you don't play well, it's important that you keep the back door shut. And I thought the back four did really well. Jake Lawler dropping back in there as well to deal with set piece. I thought, we dealt with that really, really well, and that's pleasing when, you keep the back door shut. Drenchy did what he had to do. So yeah, a good clean sheet.
Tough game again on just a couple of days' time. Now it's the league leaders Fylde who got a late winner against Barrow. It makes a very, very difficult Christmas period a little bit harder. Do you think the point here today, or are you generally happy with that?
You got to take each game as it comes, and I guess it's irrelevant. You're going to play everyone twice over the course of the season. Fylde, obviously a good side, they're doing really well. There's another boring 0-0 draw at their place earlier on in the season. So, but no, I think we know what to expect from them. I think it'll be a completely different game to this one, in that Fylde have got a very contrasting style of play to what we came up against today. But the lads are playing with confidence. We've I've been on a decent run in the league, and we want to keep that going, and there's no better thing, no better way to carry that on than get a good result against the team at the top of the league.
Thanks, Mark. That was Mark Bauer there speaking to myself after the game at Harrogate Town, in which the Lions did sort of huff and puff to that 0-0 draw against what is a very direct and physical Harrogate side, I thought, on the day. And I think they merited the point, no question about it. But my only concern for that side really was the way that they played the football. Perhaps isn't really befitting of the sort of the quality of the players that they have in the squad.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I think some of their tactics were basically just getting the ball and hoofing it forward and seeing what they can do with it, as Halifax manager Neil Aspin's just walking past us now, and he'll be having a look at a couple of our players maybe. But I do feel that, you look at the budget that Harrogate have got and the players that they've got as well, and the pace and power that some of their wingers possess, and they just didn't seem to really go for it in terms of their wing play. They wanted to get the ball and hoof it forward and just try and play it like that. And I feel with Simon, he's looked at, certainly the game against Barrow, he'll have taken a lot of positives from that, and apparently they played very similar to how they did against us on Boxing Day. So maybe today won't be a difference in performance, but I think they are a team with a bit more confidence now, and they might just push up that little bit further, and then guys that can maybe try and exploit the gaps that are left in there.
Yeah, well, it certainly was a wonderful result for Harrogate Town at Barrow. Probably a decent one for us as well. It means that Barrow and Fylde are now joint top, 46 points. Fylde have played a game less, 21. Barrow have played 22. Guiseley, of course, in third on 42. So points that can be recovered, especially if Barrow and Fylde this afternoon get a draw. Let's first of all hear from Simon Weaver. He spoke to Tom after the game as well on Boxing Day, and here's what he had to say.
Tom Feaheny with the Harrogate Town manager Simon Weaver. Simon, 0-0, a point gained, and a good performance as well from your side.
I thought so. I thought we grew in confidence throughout the game, and it was a battling performance and one full of character. You know, we were equal to them today, which is pleasing for us because they've had forward momentum for about 10 years, Guiseley, and it's hard to compete. With such a good quality outfit, well-run club, and we're trying to play catch-up. And the last couple of years we've nearly made ground up, and this year's been disappointing so far, but hopefully this is a starting point.
You must take out as well that it stopped what has been quite a disappointing run the last few games.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all competitions, we won 7 out of 9 without playing well. Then we lost 3, 2 in the league and 1 in the FA Trophy. But we played far better than that today, and we've shown a bit of character. And that's gone now, in terms of those 3 games, and we're allowed to be positive tonight about this display, and hopefully, with a bit of confidence, we can start winning games.
He won the man of the match, Luke Shields. He's come up a division as well, and he looks like a real find for the side.
Yeah, I mean, well, he played predominantly for Worksop in the Evo Stick, but this year he's playing 3 leagues below because of their demise as a club, and he's made that step up with ease, and it's good to find players, and we've quite often fallen into the trap of players who maybe just gone over the edge. Some people lost that anger in his eye, but we've got to there are some exceptional pros that do step in. We've got to find that blend between that kind of experience and like Lou, like Jordan today came in for 15 minutes, a lad from lower level who will relish the challenge.
Well, that was Simon Weaver there speaking to Tom Feaheny after Boxing Day, in which the Lions got that 0-0 draw against Harrogate Town. We're here for the return fixture now, New Year's Day, Guiseley versus Harrogate Town here at Nethermoor. Conditions are awful at the moment, it has to be said. Driving rain, everyone is huddled into any scrap of cover that there is. There's people standing on the stairs to my left, and we have quite a crowd here that's gathered, and it really just puts into context just why we need those extra covered stands, doesn't it, at this ground. And as we heard last week, Tom, that planning is moving along, and swiftly we'll find out in January whether we're going to be able to do what we need to do.
Yeah, and hopefully we are able to make them improvements, because it is literally every little covered surface that is at Nethermoor Park, people are standing behind them, and all the surfaces that aren't covered are empty at the minute, so very cramped for some of them areas as well. And it just shows you at Harrogate Town on Boxing Day, when the weather did take a little turn for the worse, everyone was able to spread out because everywhere was covered, so nobody was panicking to try and get into the covered areas because everywhere was covered. So it just shows you, if guys can make them improvements, it'll make it a better experience for those as well when it's weather like this, because everyone will be safe from the howling wind and rain.
Yeah, well, we can but hope. It's a decision that will happen in January, so this month I think we'll be finding out the outcome of that. But for now, we're hoping to find out the outcome of this keen Yorkshire derby. Guiseley taking on Harrogate Town here at Nethermoor, and the two teams are coming out now in the driving rain, in the cold and the wind, and it will hopefully be a game that will warm the various spectators that are watching.
We need it.
We'll need it, won't we? Absolutely. It was a little bit tepid on Boxing Day, but I suspect we might have a different encounter. And let's just go through those two team lineups, because there's obviously changes in the Guiseley side thanks to the suspension of Adam Boys, who can't take part in this afternoon's game. Shane Killick still unavailable due to suspension, and the fact that his loan spell means that he can't play for Guiseley against Harrogate Town anyway. Again, Danny Hall, who Tom spoke to before Boxing Day's game against Harrogate Town, he is still making a recovery and getting closer to returning. So it means that the starting lineup for the Lions is as follows: Stephen Drench in goal, Andy Holdsworth at right back again, Ben Parker is captain, Danny Lowe and Danny Ellis will be the centre halves, Jake Lawler and Danny Boschel the two holding midfielders, a midfield trio with Wayne Brooksby, Ollie Johnson, Gavin Rothery and no doubt Alex Johnson up on his own this afternoon in place of the suspended Adam Boyes. And then on the bench, Carl Harrison, Jordan Hendry, Jack Stockdale, Nicky Boschel, who will no doubt play some part this afternoon, and Steve Dickinson. For Harrogate Town, they've had to make a change. Peter Crook comes into goal, Matt Bloomer, Craig Nelthorpe, Adam Navakowski, Luke Shields, Dave McGurk, the captain, Lloyd Kerry, Ryan Fallowfield, Paul Clayton, James Walshaw and Lewis Swain, Jack Spate, Jamie Milligan, Jordan Thulis, Rhys Maynell and Lee Franks are on the bench. And so, Tom, how do you think we'll cope without Adam Boyes, and how do you think that lineup will go?
Well, I think first of all it is a change that you would have predicted, Alex Johnson replacing Boyes. And I think Alex did really well when he came on. With about 20 minutes to go, he offered a lot of pace and power, and he offered something a little bit different compared to what Adam Boyes can offer. It all depends on the partnership him and Ollie Johnson can form during this match, and obviously it's a 3-match ban for Adam Boyes, so it's really important that Alex gets a good performance today, goes into the games against Worcester and Tamworth as well, and this is his chance because he's been out injured for such a long time. If he can make an impression today, make an impression in the next 3 games, he then is putting Adam Boyes' position in the starting 11 under threat, and that can only be seen as a positive, giving Mark Bauer the right sort of headaches position-wise. Yeah, that's a really good point, isn't it? And this could be his time, couldn't it, really? It could be the time for him to really step up and get that position that he held, actually, when he came to the club, back to his own. So we are about to kick off here, and Guiseley are shooting from right to left as we watch from the main stand here. Playing in white shirts, dark blue shorts and dark blue socks as ever. Harrogate Town in their home strip as well of yellow and black stripes, black shorts and black socks. At the moment, the ball back with Peter Crook, the replacement Town goalkeeper, and dual registration with Harrogate Railway. He's actually even played football with Ilkley Town, so knows the area well. Guiseley currently being pressed into defensive duties. Ben Parker at left back gets the ball up to Ollie Johnson, who takes it down. He's closed down, but Ollie Johnson cuts in field, plays a lovely ball into Gavin Rothery, takes a heavy challenge for his efforts anyway. Referee plays on an advantage, and a good advantage to be fair, from Alf Greenwood, this afternoon's official. And Guiseley recover the ball in the centre circle anyway with Danny Boschel, but he's muscled off the ball well. And then Ryan Fallowfield takes over for Harrogate Town, plays a good one forward up to Paul Clayton. Clayton, who played such a role against Guiseley and Barrow, the low knee, who's come from Alfreton. Can't keep the ball in play on this instance, and Guiseley win a throw in left back. Well, Harrogate have made a number of changes over the past couple of weeks, a number of signings, and you can just tell already they're trying to make an impression. Ollie Johnson was tackled, the referee did well to give an advantage. Guiseley didn't make anything of it, but they'll maybe try and take advantage of the fact that a number of these Harrogate players haven't been in the team for that long. The communication may be an issue. When you look at the Guiseley 11, it's a very settled 11. Maybe Alex Johnson coming in, but he has been at the club for the past year, just been injured, so you're just hoping that communication issue that Harrogate may have is something Guiseley can exploit. Well, Wayne Brooksby and Gavin Rothery, as if to prove the point the other way, have just got their lines in a pickle and gave the ball to Town, but they've won it back now, and Brooksby's coming forward with 4 players ahead of him. Ollie Johnson to his left, goes out to the left to Ollie Johnson. Johnson's up against 2 defenders, goes towards the byline. He's up against Navakowski, who's sticking to his task well. Laid back now to Brooksby. Brooksby's got a few to aim for in the box. Goes short to Gavin Rothery. Rothery up against the captain McGurk. Gives it back to Ollie Johnson. Johnson gets it into the area. Plays it into Gavin Rothery. Into the box. Plays a cross into the 6-yard area where Peter Cook comfortably claims, and the danger passes. Well, you're putting the goalkeeper under pressure there. Ball putting in. Ollie Johnson and Alex Johnson were both in a position where if the goalkeeper had fumbled that in the slightest, and when you look at the heavy rain which has come down, there's a bit of water on the ball, you're just putting the goalkeeper under pressure, and he does well in all fairness. He gathers it with both hands, makes sure he collects it and keeps it, and then he's able to clear it at the same time as well.
Guiseley with the ball at their back line with Danny Ellis at the moment. He puts it over the top, looking for Alex Johnson, who's having a battle there with Luke Shields. Johnson gets the flick on, but there's no one ahead of him, and it goes out for a throw-in for Harrogate Town in left back.
Well, I think already just a couple of minutes in, Adam Boyes offered that big physical presence, and in all fairness, Alex Johnson offers something very similar. He likes to put his body in the way, makes the defenders work, and he works hard for the team as well. So there won't be that big a difference compared to Boyes and Johnson. It is just a case that Alex, he hasn't had a goal in a while because of his injury, and you're just hoping that he can keep his confidence levels up and get a goal or two today.
Guiseley on the ball now. Danny Boschel lays it square here, and Danny Lowe and Boschel gets the ball down, and it's down here to Danny Ellis. Ellis on the halfway line. Alex Johnson gets bundled over, and there's going to be a free kick now for Harrogate, for Guiseley, right on the halfway line, and it's going to be a chance here for Lions to get the big men forward.
Yeah, first real chance for Guiseley to get the likes of Danny Ellis up and just try and put a ball in. It'll be Danny Lowe to take and just try and get the ball in the area.
Ball goes short here to Alex Johnson. I'm misciting so many people trying to crowd into the stand for the moment. And when the ball goes out to the right-hand side where Wayne Brooksby's looking for it, he's unable to keep it under control, and it goes out for a Harrogate throw. Throw is taken from left back, but Guiseley win the ball back and having plenty of possession in the early spell of this game. 4 minutes gone, still 0-0 here between the Lions and Harrogate Town. Danny Lowe plays the ball over the halfway line up towards the right-hand flank, where it's taken down brilliantly by Brooksby. Infield now to Danny Boschel. Good flick onto Rothery. Rothery spins past his man, gets a clip for his trouble, and now Guiseley have a free kick just about a yard up from the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side.
Well, very clever play there by Gavin Rothery, because the attack had come to an end basically, and Rothery just does the little flick, and he's basically asking the defender, are you going to put your leg out? And he does, gets the clip. It's a clear free kick just outside the area, and Andy Holdsworth, what was it, 2 weeks ago with a absolute thunderbolt. If he could do that again, guys have got a really good chance.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, isn't it? It was a good opportunity. And Guiseley have Ben Parker and Andy Holdsworth. It's one of the fullbacks that's going to take this free kick. It's just a yard up from the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Holdsworth drills it into the wall, gets it back from the wall, chips it into the area, flicked on by Jake Lawler towards the goal, held by Peter Cook, the Town goalkeeper, well. But a disappointing free kick to begin with from Holdsworth. A good ball into the area in the end, and just Jake Lawler not able to get the strength of connection he needed to score a goal. The ball meanwhile now coming down the other end with Bloomer chipping it forward, looking for Louis Swain, the man who scored the goal against Barrow on Sunday. Unable to get on the end of it, it's out for a goal kick.
It was just a shame that free kick came to nothing, because Andy Holdsworth, it's in a really good position for him to just drive it. He tries to get it under the defender's legs, hoping that they jump. They didn't. The cross is put in, and in all fairness, Jake Lawler is 2-on-1, and he just is able to get his head on it, but he's not able to get the power needed to test the goalkeeper.
Ball out for a throw-in for Harrogate Town in their right-back position. First goal of the day has gone in. Hyde have taken the lead at Stalybridge, so Stalybridge 0, Hyde 1. Perhaps the recovery starts here in 2015 for Hyde.
Or perhaps not.
We've yet to play them, haven't we? They'll be just in time for that. I've noticed that Tamworth, who we go to a week on Saturday, they've been on an almighty unbeaten run, haven't they? Really put in some great form since Andy Morell's taken over there. Danny Ellis, meanwhile, takes the ball from the back, a long one forward, up towards Ollie Johnson. It's headed away well. It's out for a throw-in. Bloomer sticking to his task. Guiseley with a throw on the left-hand side, taken by Ben Parker. Infield now to Jake Lawler. To the feet of Danny Boschel. Square here to Danny Ellis. Ellis chips it forward towards Alex Johnson, but it doesn't make connection. And it goes safely through to Peter Cook. Crook even. And We await the clearance, which is high in the air and it's caught by the wind. Barely gets halfway inside the Harrogate half, but it's dealt with well by the Town defence. And now Swain gets it up towards Walshaw, the first sign of Walshaw, up against Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth wins that battle, a physical one it was. And Guiseley come away with the ball now with Gavin Rothery in the centre circle. Gives it to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby, under a couple of heavy challenges, rides them, gives it back to Rothery. Rothery runs forward, back to Brooksby. Brooksby lays it here to Lawler. To Ollie Johnson now on the left flank. Ollie Johnson cuts in field, shows a good bit of trickery, gives it to Danny Boschel. Back to Wayne Brooksby, good 1-2 between Brooksby and Boschel. Gavin Rothery now takes over on the left flank, now cuts in towards the penalty area. 3 or 4 players around him, gives it to Alex Johnson. Johnson gets a shot away from the edge of the area, takes a palm from Peter Crook to put it behind, and it's a corner kick to Guiseley for the right hand side.
Really good play there by Alex Johnson, persistence, because it looked like he was going to lose the ball, and he's able to get it through a defender's legs. I think it was Shields' legs, and it just caught the goalkeeper cold for a second, and he has to get a hand to it and push it out of play for a corner.
Well, an early goal would certainly be a great tonic for Guiseley. Wayne Brooksby on this right hand side with the wind and the rain swirling around at Nethermoor at the moment. He's got 4 or 5 white shirts to aim for. Brooksby spins this one in towards the penalty spot. Jake Lawler leaps, but he's beaten to it well by Nowakowski, and it's helped away here by Kerry over the left hand side now to Walshaw, and Walshaw gets it back here to McGurk on the halfway line, plays it long, flicked on by Swain, but nobody to get on the end of his flick on, and helped away by Danny Lowe. Alex Johnson under pressure gets the ball forward to Ollie Johnson. Good combination, good work there from Alex Johnson. Ollie Johnson now cuts in field, just a little loss of the ball for a second, but does well to recover. Gives it to Gavin Rothery out to the right hand side here, where Wayne Brooksby cuts in. He's skipped past 1, skips past 2, but actually it's a good tackle that comes in from Lloyd Kerry to dispossess him. Ben Parker anticipates the pass brilliantly though, surges forward now. Ben Parker onto the edge of the D, gets a shot away, blocked, and it's behind for a corner.
Fantastic play there by Ben Parker. Not only does he stop a Harrogate Town attack, he reads the game so well. He gets an attack of his own started, and the shot didn't have much power or direction, but I think he knew what he was doing there. He just kicks it off a Harrogate Town defender's legs and makes sure it goes out for a corner.
Corner now to be taken by Brooksby on this left hand side, curled in towards the back post. Jake Lawler comes up for it, palmed away brilliantly by Crook, away from Lawler, only as far as Ellis though. Ellis chips the ball back into the penalty area, headed on, and it's going to go behind for another corner. Brooksby decides to keep it live, plays the ball back in here. Alex Johnson in the 6-yard box, it's inside the 6-yard box and tapped home eventually by Jake Lawler of all people, and Guiseley have the advantage. Jake Lawler has given Guiseley the lead, and after 10 minutes gone, it's Guiseley 1, Harrogate Town 0.
Well, Wayne Brooksby deserves a lot of credit because it looked like the ball was going out for a corner. The Harrogate Town defence switched off, they thought it had gone out. Brooksby's done well, keeps it in, passes to Alex Johnson who gets the shot away. The goalkeeper does well to save it. Ollie Johnson then has an effort, the goalkeeper again makes a save, and it stops basically on the line, and Jake Lawler's there. On the line, it's a tap in, 1-0 Guiseley.
I have to say, it's a great start for the Lions. The ball almost free for Walshaw in the penalty area from the kick-off as they clear up towards the halfway line, headed on by Luke Shields. Tap down here to Danny Boschel. Boschel's got Ollie Johnson on the run if he can find him, just takes deflection. And in fact, it might have been the arm of Nowakowski that's taken it away from the run of Ollie Johnson. And Guiseley have a free kick. Off Greenwood has seen it, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley inside the Harrogate half at the edge of the centre circle.
Well, it's a good chance here for Guiseley because Danny Boschel's got plenty of options. He can play it short or long, see what he'll do.
Boschel with the free kick. Big men up there, including Jake Lawler, who goes to get on the end of it. This time he can't time his header or time his jump, and the ball goes beyond him and out for a goal kick. So, with 12 minutes gone, the Lions lead here by a goal to 0. Jake Lawler, the goal scorer, a tap-in after a bit of a scramble in the penalty area. Guiseley, though, worthy of the lead. They've been dominant in the first 10 minutes or so. The wind, no doubt part of that, because Harrogate are playing against a very hard and fierce wind and fierce conditions this afternoon out there. But Guiseley deserve to be a goal in front at this early stage. Danny Ellis now on the ball, plays it long and overhit that one, and it's out for a throw-in for Harrogate.
Come on, guys!
But a good start. Don't forget, if you've got any comments, do let us know. We're via at Guiseley Radio, so it'll be good to hear from you. I've been picked up all sorts of places over the world in recent weeks, so always good to hear from you when you're in sunnier climes, especially when we're freezing as we are today. A long one forward actually towards Alex Johnson from Danny Boschel. Almost finds him. Well watched by Dave McGurk. Fuerteventura, Rio de Janeiro. We've been picked up all over the world. And we're not at all envious. Gavin Rothery on the ball now for Guiseley. It's in the centre circle. A couple of big goals to tell you about in a minute. One very big one at the Barrow game, where Barrow have gone down a goal at home to Fylde. So Fylde are continuing Barrow's miserable Christmas by taking the lead there. Rowe, of course, was sold this week. And Josh Wilson, who we know well, was signed on permanent deal. So interesting things happening at Fylde, and that's a big scoreline there.
Yeah, if they could keep that as well, then you'd look at that Christmas run. It looked like a list of tricky games, and they've done really well to be in the position they're in, and it'd make the game at near the end of January really important between Guiseley and Fylde.
Now Guiseley under some pressure here with the ball bouncing up and down the edge of the 18-yard box. Looked like there might have been a foul on Danny Ellis, but referee didn't give it. In the end, it was a calm foot from Ben Parker just to blast the ball against Louis Swain to knock the ball out for a Guiseley goal kick. In the Vanarama Conference, it's Bristol Rovers 0, Torquay 1, and Altrincham 1, Chester 0. Keep you up to speed with everything that's happening in the Vanarama Conference and the Conference North. At the moment, it's 1-0 here for Guiseley in this Yorkshire derby. Harrogate trying to muster their own response now. Louis Swain leading that attack, chasing down Danny Lowe. Lowe's clearance deflects off Swain. It's going to be a throw-in for Guiseley. In left-back position, Ben Parker just dries the ball. As we've say that rain seems to be lessening a little. Parker with the throw, plays it up the line. It's cleared by Guiseley up to the halfway line, and then there's a thundering challenge comes in from Alex Johnson just to block the clearance, but it's a throw-in for Harrogate.
Yeah, good play there by Alex Johnson, because McGurk thinks that he's got plenty of time on the ball. He looks up and Alex is right in his face, wanting to get the ball back, and does well. Although they get a throw-in, it's showing that he's keeping their defence on the toes.
Our old friend Evergreen Shadows just letting us know that he's listening from sunny Sandbach. Is it Sandbach or Sandbach? I'll never know. I'm sure he'll correct us. No, we're not envious of that.
Not at all in this freezing weather. We're not envious in the slightest.
You can have that. Cheshire, isn't that great? Free kicks taken for Harrogate. Bloomer. Ball into the penalty area. It's actually found its way all the way through there to McGurk. Luke Shields couldn't get the ball down. And Guiseley now clear. And there's a bit of a counter-attack on if Boschel can release the ball. He couldn't get it away because of a super tackle that came in there from the captain McGurk on him, but Guiseley still have the ball here with Alex Johnson on the right hand side. McGurk and Johnson do battle. Johnson wins the first ball, goes down towards the corner flag, can't shackles of the centre half, but Johnson battles hard, still on the ball, gets the cross into the area, but it's taken a deflection off the Harrogate Town defender. Guiseley now pick up the second phase here with Danny Ellis into Brooksby. Brooksby tries to go past and is blocked, and is winning a free kick on that right hand side, just in from the touchline there. But that was some good work there, good powerful play there once again from Alex Johnson.
Yeah, I think, a couple of months ago I spoke to Alex and he was talking about how frustrated he was that he wasn't playing, and it's just today he looks so enthusiastic. He loves being on the pitch. He's making all them little runs that your teammates appreciate him.
The free kick comes in, whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Ben Parker was there, but it was headed away well, and it's only now as far as Danny Ellis onto the left flank. Gives the ball to Boschel. Boschel goes all the way back to Stephen Drench, and you can probably hear what the home fans think. They want the attacking momentum to continue, but nothing on. And that's what Danny Boschel will do, won't he? He'll just keep the possession rather than take the the chance in those instances. It's with Danny Lowe at the back at the moment. And Lowe threads it through brilliantly to Ollie Johnson. He's got clear of the back line. Only the goalkeeper to beat. Ollie Johnson up against Crook. Takes it past him. Ball in the bottom right-hand corner. And that is Guiseley 2, Harrogate Town 0.
Well, the fans can moan that the ball went backwards, but sometimes you've got to go backwards to then see the gaps and make the ball go forward, because the ball goes to Drench, finds Lowe, and there's an acre of space for Ollie Johnson, which when Danny Boschel had the ball, there wasn't, and the play just opened up. Ollie Johnson, he looks like a player who's enjoying his football. He's got plenty of confidence. He makes the goalkeeper come to him, and then he just simply rounds the ball past him. 2-0 Guiseley. What a fantastic start it is for the Lions.
Well, this is proving to be a very good afternoon so far. 18 minutes gone. Harrogate Town are being beaten 2-0 here by the Lions. And Nethermoor is a happy place at the moment for the home fans. That's Ollie Johnson and Jake Lawler on the score sheet. Lawler a tap in. Johnson pulled off the shoulder of his man brilliantly, played through excellently by Danny Lowe, and curls the ball into the bottom right hand corner to give Guiseley a 2-goal lead early doors in this game. Harrogate's now with the ball as they look to muster some sort of response, and Luke Shields threads it through to Navakowski. He chips the ball up in the air looking for James Walshaw, headed away by Holdsworth into Danny Boschel. Holdsworth plays the ball against Walshaw, heads it again, has to head it away from him, and Harrogate still come down this left-hand side and they get the ball into the area. It's blocked this time by Holdsworth. Excellent tackle from Nelthorpe, who had made a good run but at the expense of a corner, and Town to take their first corner of the game from the left-hand side.
Important this for Harrogate because they've got so many big men forward. Got to get it right.
Ball swings into the 6-yard box, headed away by Ollie Johnson. Brilliant header away, but only as far as Harrogate's Fallowfield, Ryan Fallowfield. The 18-year-old gets the ball out to the left-hand side and it's sprayed into the penalty area, headed away by Ellis. Fallowfield from range. Good connection on the ball, it was rising. He claims it's taken a deflection off the defender and gone for a corner. The referee has pointed for a goal kick. It's good work there from Ryan Fallowfield. He's a 18-year-old on a loan from Hull City for a month and is certainly proving his worth in the 2 games we've faced, but couldn't make the connection on that occasion.
Yeah, it's just one of them shots where at first you think, is this going to be going right into the top corner? Because he has got, in them 2 games we've seen him, he has got a really good connection when he strikes the ball. And for Harrogate now they've gone 2-0 down, it just seems like Simon's just changed the tactics a little bit. He's just brought 1 or 2 men extra forward, because when it's 0-0 he likes to be compact and make the other team try and break them down. Now they've conceded, you're going to see Harrogate get the ball forward as often as possible because they know that they need to get back into this.
Well, Ben Parker's just been pulled up for pulling at Louis Swain on this right hand side, and the free kick will be sort of midway through the Guiseley half, a few yards in on the right hand side from the touchline. So Nelthorpe will come across to take this. Harrogate have 4 or 5 players just on the edge of the 18-yard box. 5 it is. Curled in from Nelthorpe towards a penalty spot. Difficult area for it to be dealt with. Boschel gets their head onto it. Danny Ellis tidies up, gives it to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson runs with the ball. If he can play it through, he can almost release Brooksby. It's up against Crook. Crook quickly off its goal, gets the ball, and then it's eventually cleared, even though Gavin Rothery almost got a chance to have a return. But good work there from Peter Crook to clear from Brooksby, who was cleared through our goal otherwise. And now Harrogate attack at the other end. It's with Walshaw on the left flank. Walshaw out to Nelthorpe. The overlapping run is a failure in this instance because he slips at the key moment and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Really good play there by Crook because he reads the game so well there. It's a nice ball forward, and if he doesn't come out, it's a goal. And what impressed me most was not only does he get to the ball, he clears it as well, makes sure that it gets some distance, makes it hard for Guiseley to try and get that 3rd goal. But for Guiseley now, it just seems to be one long ball and they can open up this Harrogate defence, and they'll keep doing that if Harrogate don't change.
I'm really surprised at that, really. It's a simple balls through on the ground, splitting the defender with the attacker's run on those 2 occasions. It's quite unusual. Harrogate, though, are still attacking the Guiseley goal, and they've got the ball down the left-hand side. Lowe is going to get there ahead of Walshaw. Walshaw doesn't give it up, actually gets the deflection back off Lowe, and actually earns Harrogate the throw-in just up from the left corner flag.
Well, yeah, at any level, you wouldn't expect your defence to be opened up so easily, and on them 2 occasions, that's exactly what's happened. It just seems to be maybe a bit of a lack of communication between the centre-backs, because both are going one direction, and it just means that there's plenty of space for the attackers to take advantage of.
Harrogate with this throw then, again, lay it back here to Lloyd Kerry. Kerry plays it forward into the feet of Nelthorpe. He can't get past Brooksby on that occasion. Brooksby's indicating to the bench, I think, that he needs to come off. He's already switching something, but I think he's making some indication he's coming off.
Yeah, he's coming off.
Stephen Drench immediately takes the clearance, though, from the feet, and it plays in Alex Johnson on this left-hand side, up against McGurk. McGurk gets the challenge in. Johnson still rides it, still up against McGurk, goes towards the byline, cuts the ball across, hits the arm of the defender right inside the 6-yard box. It was too close, I think, for it to be a penalty. I don't think he could possibly have controlled it. And Alf Greenwood waves away the appeals, and Harrogate come away with the ball anyway. And in the end, it's played forward up towards Louis Swain. Swain with the ball bundled over by Jake Lawler. No free kick, and it's into the feet of Brooksby, who appears to be ailing. He plays it forward towards Alex Johnson. He loses out on that occasion, and Harrogate recover possession in the centre circle. Nolly Johnson capitalises on a loose touch there towards Matt Bloomer, who was put in trouble, I think, by Ryan Fallowfield's pass. In the end, it bounces harmlessly through to the goalkeeper.
Brooksby's hurt his hamstring. Just when that attack was going on, Brooksby went to the bench and just started pointing at his hamstring. And so Nicky Bosch will be coming on by the looks of it. And it's a shame, because Wayne's done well during the first 20 minutes. He's caused problems, but when you've got a little knock like that, it's best just to come off and make sure that you get it recovered. Give it that significant recovery time, because if you play with an injury like that, you can get real damage to it, and you're out for a long, long time.
Well, that is a blow. That's a big blow for Guiseley. Wayne Brooksby having to go off. Nicky Boschel, good replacement. He's scored goals in recent weeks. Scored at Stockport when he started, and his last start was against Chorley, but to be fair, that day he had a good chance early doors in that match. He created himself, and since then he's been out behind Brooksby and Rothery, and at the moment he's had to come on, though, because Wayne Brooksby's gone off injured. A couple of scorelines from the Vanarama Conference North. Stalybridge 1, Hyde 1. Hyde had taken the lead in that game. Lowestoft 0, Boston 1. And then the Vanarama Conference, Barnet 1, Aldershot 0, Kidderminster 0, Forest Green 1, Altrincham 2 now, Chester 0. The Sinnott side having a very good start to the year. Guiseley, meanwhile, are also having a good start to the year, but now need to defend. Nowakowski, a good ball forward here, finds Louis Swain. He's about 20 yards from goal, but 2-3 players around him. We know what he can do. He charges through, and in the end, he actually is over-exuberant with his run. I'm not quite sure how he's conceded the free kick there, but there is a free kick to Guiseley on the edge of the 18-yard box. And Guiseley will start again. Still 2-0 to the good, 26 minutes gone here on Guiseley AFC Radio, if you're just tuning in. We are currently ahead in this match thanks to goals from Jake Lawler. After 10 minutes, a tap-in inside the 6-yard box, on the goal line practically, after a bit of a melee. And then Ollie Johnson, who was put clear brilliantly by Danny Lowe's cutting through pass, and slid the ball beautifully around the goalkeeper. And Guiseley come forward again here. Nicky Boschel gets his first touch up against 2 players. It's a good one. Gives it to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson helps it to the right-hand side, where Alex Johnson collects. He can get this ball into the area. He's got 3 to aim for. Alex Johnson floats in towards the back post. Finds Danny Boschel brilliantly. The ball just floats past the net far upright for a goal kick. But it was an inspired ball in there from Alex Johnson, and a great run from Danny Boschel, but he just couldn't make the connection to keep it goal-bound. And it's behind for a goal kick. And
that was no lucky pass as well. Danny Boschel, before he went into the area, pointed to where he was going to be, whips it in, and Danny Boschel, he's hit this effort where if it takes any touch, that's going to go into the back of the net. It misses all the Harrogate Town defence somehow and goes out of play for a goal kick, but that were a big chance for Guiseley.
Ball's now here with Harrogate Town. Paul Clayton plays it up towards Walshaw. Walshaw takes it down up against Danny Ellis. A firm tackle comes in from Ellis. Walshaw will get a throw, though, up from the corner flag on the left-hand side. Takes it himself, lays it into the feet of Kerry. Lloyd Kerry on the left flank up against Rothery. Plays a good one in towards the edge of the 18-yard box now, where Walshaw with his back to goal. Gives it back to Kerry. Kerry floats one in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Walshaw, only as far as Navakowski. He chips the ball back. Nelthorpe will curl it in with that right foot. Finds Walshaw, almost finds Clayton. Clayton in the area, puts the ball in the back of the net, but the flag was up for an offside decision already. It was a very cool finish from Paul Clayton. He just poked the ball over Stephen Drench and into the back of the net there, but the flag was quickly up, and Harrogate have had one chalked out.
Well, the linesman had his flag up immediately, and well, I always seem to go back to the Chorley game where that's exactly what happened, and in the end the goal was given. But Clayton, it's a good finish by him, and he looks a good player for them from Alfreton. But the Guiseley defence looked confident that that was offside, and that's exactly what was given.
A very good signing. Harrogate Town, of course, made another signing this week in Jamie Milligan from Stockport. He's on the bench this afternoon. As well as a couple of players who impressed, Jordan Thulis, who impressed as well. So they've got options on the bench, including Jake Spate, to change it, and they're beginning to grow a little bit into this game here. Lloyd Kerry plays the ball out towards Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe slips, and the ball goes behind for a throw-in for Guiseley. And it's easily taken short to Danny Ellis, and Guiseley just slowing things down for a moment. Danny Lowe, who set up the second goal from this sort of range. He's looking for options though this time. He's not got many, so he has to go square, and so James Walshaw comes short to try and close down Ellis, but Guiseley finds some space here with Andy Holdsworth on the right hand side. Gives it to Ollie Johnson, goes past his man. He looks like he's been tugged back by Nelthorpe. Linesman on that far side spots it and gives Guiseley a free kick just in from the touchline. It's a goal to Stockport County in their game at Colwyn Bay. It's 1-0, and Chester have got a goal back in that Vanarama Conference game between them and Altrincham. Guiseley take the free kick now swiftly into the penalty area, headed away well. Has real pace when it's played in with the wind behind him. And Louis Swain tidies things up for Harrogate, gives it to Clayton. Laid back here to Navakowski. He's got options limited ahead of him, so he's holding on to the ball, closed by Nicky Boschel. And in the end it goes all the way back to Peter Crook, and Navakowski's not happy with the front play. And Crook's distribution takes the ball out of play, and it'll be a Guiseley throw-in just inside their own half on the left-hand side. Parker gives it to Lowe, and then to Ellis. Ellis and Lowe combine and hold on to the ball. It's a bit of keep ball at the back at the moment. And Harrogate, who were hustling and hurrying and not giving us any time to settle on the ball at all on Boxing Day, aren't doing the same game at all today. Ellis now plays a beautiful ball over the top towards the on-running Andy Holdsworth. It won't get there in this instance, and it's just gone out for a throw-in.
I think that's the problem with Harrogate, is when it's 0-0 they're very compact and they play a certain way, and once they've conceded they then have to get a couple of extra men forward, and it just results in them leaving them gaps that guys have been able to take full advantage of. But I think that offside goal proved to me that it's a definite warning that Harrogate have got goals in them, and guys will have to be at the best to maintain this 2-goal advantage.
Ball went forward there, and it's taken down by Louis Swain. There was a shout for a free kick because it looked like Louis Swain had just leant forward with his right hand, and in the end it's a free kick that's been given to Harrogate for a challenge. And Nelthorpe and Boschel are just having words with each other, because Nelthorpe didn't like something that Boschel did. I must admit, I can't really quite see what's going on from here, Tom. I don't really know what's the offence that has happened, but it looks like Danny Boschel's going in the book.
I'm surprised by that because what happens is Nelthorpe gets the ball and he passes it past Boschel, but the ball's going out of play and Nelthorpe seems to run into Boschel, or did Boschel block him? It's one of them. Some would see it as a block, some would see it as running into him. But I'm very surprised that that's a yellow card, because there didn't seem, anything in it really.
Free kick is taken from the touchline, played into the penalty area, headed up in the air and away by Guiseley. Back down here for Lloyd Kerry, gets it into the penalty area, into Luke Shields, blocked by Danny Ellis. Now there's half a chance here for Navakowski it was, who got the shot away, but straight into the hands of Stephen Drench, and Drench releases the ball quickly into the chest of Danny Boschel, and now Ollie Johnson ahead of him. Plays the ball through towards Nicky Boschel. Nicky Boschel, Crook's off his line. Nicky Boschel goes round him. Great save from Crook to deny Nicky Boschel in the end, because Crook had come out very early was forced wide was Nicky Boschel, but in the end a brave save at his feet from the Harrogate goalkeeper. But again, a real chance there for Guiseley to have got another goal.
Yeah, definitely, and the goalkeeper putting his body on the line, because if he doesn't, Nicky Boschel runs the keeper, it's 3-0. But keeper just, he's taken a kick as well from Boschel for all that, but keeping it just at 2-0.
Now the ball forward here to Louis Swain on the right hand side, tries to cut in past Danny Lowe, good tackle comes in on him. Ben Parker completes the clearance, well, actually in terms of completion it's going to be a throw into Guiseley in left back position. It's a few yards up from the corner flag. But on the counter attack, it's easy to see the space where it comes when Guiseley commit when Harrogate commit players forward. It's perhaps where those big scorelines have come from in recent weeks. You know, the 4-0s at FC United, the 3-0s at Tamworth.
I think that's the problem. You concede one and then you panic. You think, well, we must get back into this. You then concede that second, and since that second goal, they have just thrown a lot of men forward, and it's the likes of Ollie Johnson and Alex Johnson, that bit of pace. You get the ball to them. They're in one-on-ones if they want to be, and it's just taking advantage of that. And it seems now that Simon's just brought two defenders, basically asked them to stay back, but it is a case that guys, if they want to, they can exploit the space that they're being left.
Ball forward here, Andy Holdsworth into Nelthorpe. It's cleared by Nelthorpe, blasted off the Guiseley man, and then a firm foot through from Nowakowski puts the ball into touch. 34 minutes gone. If you're just joining us, it's 2-0 to the Lions. Goals from Jake Lawler and Dolly Johnson. In the first 18 minutes of this game have given Guiseley a solid lead in this match. Since then, Harrogate had the ball in the net with Paul Clayton's finish inside the 6-yard box, but it was disallowed for offside, ruled out for offside. And the Lions currently looking comfortable with 10 minutes to go to the break. Throw in just inside the Guiseley half, and it's gone down as far as Lloyd Kerry. He plays the ball against the Guiseley man and gets the throw in. And now Kerry comes away with the ball and is blocked by Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson's got Alex Johnson down the right hand side if he can find him. Alex Johnson goes up towards the halfway line. Is blocked again by Nowakowski. Good tackle comes in from him. Goes all the way back to Stephen Drench. And there's a big cheer behind the goal. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Certainly isn't for the scoreline from the Vanarama Conference, which is Grimsby 0, Macclesfield 1. Now Gavin Rothery's having a bit of a run on the ball. Goes in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Gives it to Nicky Boschel. He blasts it towards a goal. It's blocked and out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. And this is for Ben Parker. He'll play that ball into Danny Boschel. Into the feet of Gavin Rothery, but there's a late challenge in on Parker, and there's a free kick now. He's just holding on to his left ankle at the moment, and I think referee Alf Greenwood is going to produce a card. Not quite sure, Tom, what did you see to that? It took my eye just off the ball after the ball had gone past him.
Well, yeah, I saw it, and Ben Parker's it's a little flick, and Swain goes in. There's no malice in the tackle, but it is a striker's challenge. He's trying to get the ball, but he's nowhere near, and he just catches the left ankle of Ben Parker. It's a sore one, and I think it is quite right that a yellow card's been given for it, and this free kick as well.
Andy Holdsworth now with a free kick on the left-hand side, about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Whipped into the 6-yard box, being missed by everyone. Ollie Johnson now picks it up inside the penalty area. He's got players ahead of him, can't get the shot away. Chips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Claimed comfortably there by Peter Crook. Perhaps not the best decision, but good, again, invention from Guiseley. But difficult, not brilliantly defended by Harrogate, and they've conceded possession again here to Gavin Rothery. He's played it into Alex Johnson on the edge of the area, loses his balance, gets it back again, plays it into Nicky Boschel. Boschel across the face of the 6-yard box, behind Ollie Johnson. Guiseley still don't get that third goal. Alex Johnson now picks the ball back up here with Jake Lawler into Gavin Rothery. You feel that we have to get this third, feel that we have to punish them for this spell of play. Ollie Johnson now with the ball, 30 yards from goal, plays it in towards Gavin Rothery. He loses it, but it's picked up again by Danny Boschel. He floats the ball over the top brilliantly to Andy Holdsworth, who's made a great run into the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper claimed it just ahead of Alex Johnson. Great football there from Guiseley. Great vision from Danny Boschel. Good running from Andy Holdsworth. A good pass into the area and well claimed by Peter Crook.
Well, people can complain about Danny and his passing backwards, but that is a fantastic forward ball. Got to say again, the goalkeeper puts his body in the way. He's brave. And for Guiseley, it's just so important that they try and get this third goal before half-time, because they've had the chances. And if they go in only 2-0 up, some of the Harrogate players might just feel a bit more confidence, because they've given Guiseley a lot of the ball and a lot of the chances as well. If they can come out second half at 2-0 and get an early goal as well,
with the wind in their favour as well. Yeah.
You've got to take advantage of this wind and the chances that Guiseley are creating.
Danny Lowe's on the ball now for the Lions, inside his own half, plays it short and straight into the feet of Fallowfield. Now Harrogate come away with it on the right hand side. Clayton up against Ben Parker. Clayton going down to the touchline. He's gone back here to Nowakowski. Nowakowski cuts it infield to Bloomer. Bloomer curls it into the area, flicked on, headed away by Danny Ellis. Nobody in a yellow shirt to capitalise, so fortunately Jake Lawler can complete the clearance. And then a clumsy challenge from Ollie Johnson on Nelthorpe, which isn't penalised. Remarkably, that was a clear-cut free kick, but Harrogate didn't get it, but they've won the ball back here, and now they come forward again with about 35 yards from goal. Plays it in towards Louis Swain. He misses the ball, and it's out for it's back in the hands safely of Stephen Drench.
Well, Ollie Johnson there, he makes the tackle. He actually puts his hands up. He acknowledges it should be a free kick, and the look on some of the Harrogate Town players' faces was priceless. They couldn't believe a free kick hadn't been given, but guys who weren't able to take advantage of the referee giving them a big favour there.
Bloomer flicks the ball into the area. Oh, very heavy challenge comes in from James Walshaw and Stephen Drench. Walshaw goes to apologise to him straight away, holds his hands up, and the referee is also going to produce a card for Nelthorpe, I think. He immediately stopped play as soon as Walshaw was penalised for the high foot on Drench. Goes across to Nelthorpe and shows him the yellow card. He's incandescent, isn't he, about that free kick that wasn't for the one against Ollie Johnson. And the referee, I don't think, has he finished yet? I thought he might have been producing the card for Walshaw as well, actually, there.
I'll say this, though, Nelthorpe's going to have to keep his mouth shut, because he's really going into the referee, shouting abuse at him, and he's already booked him, and it was a yellow card for abuse, for saying things. He could have very easily produced another one there after what I saw him say to him.
Yeah, they need to keep their heads, don't they? Danny Ellis now on the ball, 20 yards from inside his goal area, plays a long one up towards Alex Johnson, who takes it down first time, gives it to Ollie Johnson, cuts in field from the right hand side up against Kerry, who slipped, but they win the ball back, and the firm challenge comes in from Kerry again, as he's shown some real battle and bite in that midfield. In the end, it's gone out for a throw-in for Harrogate in their left back position. 2-0 still to Guiseley, 5 minutes to the break. Jake Lawler and Ollie Johnson. And in truth, the Lions could have had more and should perhaps have punished their opponents this afternoon more in this first 45. But as it is, it's a 2-goal lead, and Harrogate currently stuck in their own half, aren't they, Tom, in left-back position, unable to get out.
Yeah, and I just think you look at a couple of the Harrogate players, maybe frustration is creeping in a little bit, because it was a tackle by Walshaw on Drench, and it's Walshaw for you. He's shown full commitment to try and get the ball, but he nearly catches Drench, and if he had, and let's say Drench threw himself to the floor, you could have seen a card being given there.
Now Harrogate have come forward down the left-hand side, this time a bit more purpose in the attack. Tried to thread it through to Nowakowski from Swain, but cut out well, and Guiseley can counter-attack here. Good one towards Ben Parker on the halfway line. He's got Alex Johnson ahead of him. It's just ahead of the defender. Finds Alex Johnson in front of Swales. A good shot from Johnson. Great save from Peter Cook. Peter Crook with a super palm from a firm drive from Alex Johnson's left boot on the edge of the 6-yard box. Crook got down to his left and managed to claim the ball at the second attempt.
Well, if anyone deserves a goal that hasn't got one already, it is Alex Johnson. The work he's putting into during this first half, but got to say, fantastic effort by him, and the goalkeeper, it's a big hand just to claw the ball away, and really good goalkeeping by Crook.
He thought Shields might have thought he could have got the ball ahead of the pass from Ben Parker, but in the end it's gone all the way back here to Stephen Drench. He's played a rather aimless one into Harrogate territory. But Simon Weaver won't be happy with his team's first 45, I'm sure. Guiseley and will perhaps be left with a question as we head to the break as to whether they could have killed this game off. And at 2-0, of course, it's very much from dead, this match. Very much from over. Nicky Boschel just conceding the free kick to Nowakowski. When I'm making such wise points, Tom, it's better than not just to nod on the radio, you know. Either agree or disagree with me. Free kick anyway to Harrogate, just inside the their own half, on the right-hand side of that half. But they're going to go long here. It's up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed away by Danny Ellis, but there's a chase on here for James Walshaw. He doesn't get there ahead of Ollie Johnson, who takes it back, defends it well. Plays it rather fortuitously underneath the feet of Walshaw, and eventually Guiseley get the ball up to the halfway line. It's taken down by Shields, who was the man of the match on Boxing Day. And then into the chest of James Walshaw, who rather characteristically was going down to ensure that he got the free kick because of the close proximity of Danny Ellis.
Yep.
We've seen that many times before, haven't we?
Well, we're used to it, but it's clever play by Walshaw. He knows the contact's going to come in. He makes sure he's side to get the free kick in a really good position.
It is a good position. Just before the break here, free kick. It's about 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline, up about level with the edge of the angle of the corner of the penalty area. It's whipped in and held by Stephen Drench, and immediately released by the goalkeeper to try and get Alex Johnson on his way. He's up against the full-back, up against Nelthorpe. Bloomer indeed does well. The 35-year-old comes across and gets a head on the ball ahead of Alex Johnson as the ball was bouncing difficultly in the half, and now Guiseley will get a free kick for a little bit of a late trip there from Kerry, I think it was, on Andy Holdsworth. That should take us through to the break. 20 seconds after the normal time, plus whatever stoppages will be added. And Guiseley in a good 2-0 lead here. Yeah,
and maybe one last chance for Guiseley to try and get that third goal. Like you were saying, 2-0, it's such a weird scoreline, because you'd think your 2 goals up, game's done, but it never is at 2-0, because all it takes is for one goal and the momentum changes to the other side's favour.
Guiseley have the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box from the free kick, gives it to Alex Johnson on the edge of the 18-yard box, cuts in, but is blocked well by Nelthorpe, who defends excellently in that occasion, takes away the ball from Alex Johnson. Guiseley have a throw though on right back. 2 minutes of added time here. Johnson, Holdsworth finds Ollie Johnson, who manages to keep the ball live and get it into the penalty area, but not able to pick out a Guiseley man, and it's cleared. Back into Guiseley's half now with Danny Ellis, whose ball forward is not the best, and it's out for a Harrogate throw. A few scorelines coming in the Vanarama Conference. There's Kidderminster 0, Forest Green 3 now, and Grimsby have equalised against Macclesfield. Macclesfield went 1 up there, and Grimsby equalised 1 each. None more in the Vanarama Conference North. We'll try and take a check on all the half times there before we go off for our break. And there's a big shout for a free kick here from Mark Bauer. He was not happy about something. He came way off the out of the dugout to protest. Guys, you have a free kick just inside their own half on the right-hand side. Ball goes forward from Andy Holdsworth towards Alex Johnson, who's chasing this one up against 2 players. He's looked like he takes a challenge, but keeps on his feet, gets the ball infield, goes towards the byline. He's got 2 to aim for in the box, finds the man who's short, which is Nicky Boschel, wins Guiseley a corner just before the break.
Yeah, good play there again by Alex Johnson, persistence, and he's got, he's run rings around the defender, and then he puts a decent ball in, trying to find Boschel, but goes out for a corner.
Good first half performances from the Lions. The ball whipped in this time into the 6-yard box, well held by Crook. He throws the ball out quickly to Swain inside his own half. Harrogate looks for the swift counter-attack. He's up against Danny Lowe and Jake Lawler at the moment. Danny Ellis is getting back. Ben Parker is also, but Nowakowski has come forward well down this right-hand side, gets the ball into the area, takes deflection, finds James Walshaw inside the 6-yard box. He was sliding in to try and win the ball. Got not much of a connection on it, went into the arms of Stephen Drench, and referee Alf Greenwood has called time on that first 45. Guiseley lead 2-0.
Well, guys, they'll be happy with their first half performance. 2 goals, both of them well worked, both of them well deserved. But the only problem for Guiseley is they might be looking at that 2-0 and thinking it should be 3 or 4. They've had the chances. Harrogate Town, they've had 1 or 2 half chances just a moment ago. James Walshaw with an effort that was easy enough for Drench to save, and just a case that they haven't really had anything that they'll be too disappointed about, that they haven't got the name on the score sheet yet. But for Guiseley, 2-0 up at half-time, there'll be positives regarding the fact they're winning. The only problem is they haven't killed Harrogate Town off, and in games like this, with the wind going against Guiseley in the second half, it could come back and bite Guiseley very hard.
Yeah, it's funny, I was just thinking just before the break there, it had conditions feel similar in some respect to the game between us and Droylsden a couple of years ago. Do you remember when James Walshaw had returned from his spell at Darlington, and he came off the bench, didn't he? We were 3-0 down at the break. Exactly the same sort of circumstances, strong wind down one end, and then after the break, we huffed and puffed, we tried to get back into it manfully, and then James Walshaw came off the bench and scored that hat-trick, and we went on to win 4-3 that day in the last sort of 20 minutes or so. Yep. Similar sort of feel, isn't it, in terms of the impact the conditions could be having on this game. You can't truly tell, can you?
Hopefully not the result, though, in the end. But.
Yeah, true. Let's just quickly get some half-times then. Alfreton Lincoln was postponed earlier today. Altrincham 2, Chester 1. Barnet 1, Aldershot 0. Braintree 0, Dartford 0. Bristol Rovers 0, Torquay 1. Grimsby 1, Macclesfield 1. Halifax Gateshead postponed. Kidderminster 0, Forest Green 3. Telford 0, Nuneaton 0. Welling 0, Dover 0. And Woking 0, Eastleigh 0. In the Vanarama Conference North, Barrow 0, Fylde 1. Brackley 0, Gloucester 0. Bradford Park Avenue Chorley was postponed. Colwyn Bay 0, Stockport 1. Guiseley 0, Guiseley 2, Harrogate 0, sorry. Hensford 0, Worcester 0. Lowestoft 0, Boston 1. North Ferriby 0, Gainsborough 0. Oxford City 0, Leamington 0. Stalybridge 1, Hyde 1. Tamworth 0, Solihull Moors 0. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes time for the second half of this game. Half time here. It's Guiseley 2, Harrogate 0. Well, welcome back here to Guiseley AFC Radio. We're just getting ready for the second half. Harrogate Town, not surprisingly, 2-0 down, or the first team out. Looking to make an impression. Simon Weaver has sent his charges out to get ready for that second period. Suspect we'll be seeing a substitute as well, because the board is ready in preparation for a change. I would imagine Harrogate would be the likely team to make a change, having seen Wayne Brooksby already go off for Guiseley with what looks like a hamstring injury of some sort. We now get ready for the second 45, Tom, and hopefully more of the same from the Lions.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a little bit tougher with the wind going against Guiseley. Though I've got to say, during the half time, the wind has stopped a little bit, so hopefully it'll be at them levels. But yeah, it's going to be a substitute for Harrogate Town, and you know, they just need something a little bit different, because guys were very comfortable during the first half, and it looks like it's going to be the new signing for Harrogate Town who's going to be making his debut. So it's, you know, someone who will be trying to make an impression early doors for his new side.
Well, Jamie Milligan, of course, hasn't got a great experience of playing against Guiseley this season. He's seen his side beaten 3-0 on 2 occasions when he was playing with Stockport County, and this afternoon he joins Harrogate Town, making his debut here for the second half, replacing Adam Nowakowski. I thought had a good first 45, actually. I think of the players that were out there on the pitch, Nowakowski was one of those that certainly had put in a good shift. But Jamie Milligan starts his Harrogate Town career here at Nethermoor. As we are about to get underway here, referee gives Guiseley a second chance at taking the kick-off. We don't see that too often. A false start. The Lions eventually do get the game underway here. And we're away with Guiseley playing from left to right now as we watch. Here in the main stand, with the rain returning, the wind building up again despite it dropping for a short while. Guiseley playing into that wind now and into that rain. Playing with white shirts, dark blue shorts and navy blue socks as ever. Against Harrogate Town in yellow and black stripes, black shorts and black socks. We'll go through the two lineups at some juncture if you're just joining us. Long one forward, and you can see the difference when Crook clears from the edge of his own area. It goes all the way through to Stephen Drench, where before he was struggling to hit the halfway line, Tom.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Drench has decided to kick straight back, and it's actually worked for Guiseley, but Crook there, he didn't hit that as hard as he'd hit previous ones, and it went straight to Drench.
And Nicky Boschel takes a chip effort from the edge of the left-hand side of the penalty area, some distance from goal. I think he was aiming a shot at target, but it's gone harmlessly behind for a goal kick. But yeah, like you say, Stephen Drench, a good distribution actually there from his feet, but he's let the ball drop down to his feet to try and keep under the wind. So those two sides, Stephen Drench in goal for Guiseley, Andy Holdsworth, Ben Parker, Danny Lowe, Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler. We have Nicky Boschel now in place of Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Alex Johnson, Ollie Johnson and Gavin Rothery. Guiseley in possession of the ball on the halfway line. And the ball with Danny Ellis. He plays it forward and it's picked up by Bloomer. Bloomer sends it back. Ellis chests it down this occasion. Jake Lawler onto the left-hand side. Gives it to Danny Lowe. Ben Parker in possession of the ball. Plays it to Gavin Rothery on the left flank up against Milligan. Rothery skips past him. He's got options ahead of him if he can find him. Rothery still with the ball. Threads it through to Alex Johnson, who peels off well on the left-hand side. 3 players around Alex Johnson now. He goes back to Gavin Rothery again on the edge of the penalty area with players surrounding him. Rothery gets the shot away. It deflects off a Harrogate man. It's still in the penalty area. Rothery picks it up, goes down to the byline, drills it across the goal, and it's gone behind for a corner. And Guiseley have got the corner on the left-hand side and a chance to get this ball in and get the big men up for this.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what the wind plays into, whether it plays into Guiseley's hands, because they're getting all the big players forward, likes of Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, they're all in the area.
The ball is shanked really as the cross comes in by Nicky Boschel. It was a poor corner, but Guiseley get lucky. Actually, it's gone behind for another one, so Nicky Boschel will have to do better on this occasion. It was a very poor corner.
Yeah, getting away with one there, because the Harrogate Town defence didn't realise that the corner would be that poor, they didn't anticipate it, and it goes out for another one.
This time it's better. It's in towards the penalty spot. Headed away, though, and dealt with comfortably. James Walshaw will pick up the loose ball. Beats Holdsworth for pace, but Holdsworth sticks to his task and holds James Walshaw up in the Harrogate half. Wins the tackle, gives it to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson misplaces his pass, and Harrogate now can counter-attack here with Clayton. To the right-hand side, where Lloyd Kerry comes over the halfway line. Plays it towards Louis Swain on the right flank. 2 players around him. Louis Swain turns and passes infield and is cut out. And Ben Parker comes away with the ball now for Guiseley. Into Nicky Boschel. Nicky Boschel over the halfway line. Onto his left, he has Danny Boschel. Danny Boschel collects. He's up against Bloomer. And it's Alex Johnson, rather, who plays the ball square to Danny Boschel. Boschel back on to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson, nice little reverse pass, finds Andy Holdsworth into the area. Goalkeeper Crook bravely down at feet, ahead of Alex Johnson again, and Nicky Boschel, were both closing him down. And Crook quickly gets the ball away, looking to release James Walshaw. Danny Boschel does enough to tidy that one up, and Stephen Drench completes the clearance up to the halfway line, holds up in the wind. McGurk with a firm header forward, up by James Walshaw and nodded back anyway by Danny Ellis to safe hands of Stephen Drench. But an attacking move at one end can quickly turn into attacking move at the other.
Well, especially with this win, because it's just a clearance by the goalkeeper, and immediately the guys in the defence are under a lot of pressure because they have to judge where the ball's going. And Danny Lowe gets a really good header onto it, trying to clear it away, but it holds up in the wind and the ball barely moves. And it just means that Guiseley now, every time they clear it, they're going to have to be prepared to try and have to clear it again, because this wind's been very unpredictable.
Lions on the ball again, but forced back with Danny Lowe going all the way back to Stephen Drench. And Guiseley, I think Harrogate get the sense that they can use the wind to the advantage in the second half, and just beginning to find out how the Lions defence will respond to it. Swain now on this right-hand side, cuts in field, gets a firm shot away with the left boot, well held by the goalkeeper. Again, Stephen Drench watching the drive from distance. But if Harrogate were to get an early goal back in this game, you would certainly sense that that would lift them considerably. And this task is much different to in the first 45 with the wind with Harrogate when they come forward. Ball flicked on by Clayton, goes back to Holdsworth. Falls in a bit of a sticky patch at right back, and Holdsworth does well to control and clear. Plays it up to Alex Johnson, who looks like he might have been held back, but the referee disagrees. The ball eventually threaded forward by Ben Parker towards Johnson, but it's away from him and by Bloomer and then up towards Swain. His control lets him down, and Danny Boschel sniffs up the scraps and takes the ball over the halfway line. Andy Holdsworth now called into play, just inside the Harrogate half, gives it to Ollie Johnson. He's up against Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe wins the ball well from him, plays it into the feet of James Walshaw. Walshaw spins well, gives the ball to the right-hand side. Chance here for Swain to come forward. Twists past Ben Parker. He's got options to the right in Kerry. Gives it to Kerry. Good firm tackle comes in from Danny Lowe on Kerry. He had a half a sniff of getting that ball, and Lowe, full-blooded in the tackle, wins it, and it's a Harrogate throw.
Well, you can see that Kerry's lining up to shoot, and he was going to get a lot of power behind that, and Lowe just puts his body in the way, puts his body on the line, make sure the ball is cleared.
Now Harrogate with Milligan. Milligan from distance lays the ball well into the penalty area. Good tackle comes in from Boschel. Only as far as Fallowfield. He can't turn and shoot. It's back here to Jamie Milligan, who plays it down the left-hand side into the area where James Walshaw picks it up, goes up against Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth wins that battle and gets the ball away. Gives it to Danny Boschel. And then Gavin Rothery, still passing the ball out. Guiseley plays a good one to Nicky Boschel, who tries to thread the ball through to Danny Boschel, but it's beyond him, and Harrogate can recover the second phase. And I think we'll see a lot of the play in this half, in this second period, with the wind up Harrogate's sails. And they come down this right-hand side again, and good battling from Ben Parker to win the ball back. Gets it up to the halfway line. Alex Johnson up against two defenders has an awful big task to do to try and recover that one. Luke Shields does well to get the tackle in on Alex Johnson, but Gavin Rothery takes the second phase again. Has to hold the ball up and gives it back to the captain, Ben Parker. And it's in field here to Jake Lawler, and guys, he's just trying to take the sting out of the game for a little while here. Ollie Johnson with the ball, plays it out to the right hand side where Andy Holdsworth has taken up a good position again. Can he get a good cross into the area? He's got 3 to aim for if he can. Holdsworth in there, good header, superb strike of a header. Wow, and what a goal that is from, is that Nicky Boschel?
It is.
A cross from Andy Holdsworth and an absolutely towering header from Nicky Boschel to thump the ball into the right hand corner, and Guiseley have a third, and it's now Guiseley 3, Harrogate 0.
Well, he looks surprised that he scored that, because it's a ball in, it's a little bit behind him, and he's had to really put his neck behind that. He's thrown himself towards the ball, and it's a brilliant goal by Nicky Boschel. Goalkeeper, no chance, 3-0 Guiseley. And, well, just that little bit of nerves that, when you're 2-0 up, you do just think if we concede one, they're back in it, but now a little bit of nerves. Hopefully they've gone away, and what a way to do it. Fantastic header by Nicky Boschel.
Well, I can't believe that. That's quite a goal. And the header immediately has to be made by Jake Lawler, but he only gives it to Walshaw. He drives it from distance, but it's behind for a goal kick. Just chance now to give you a few score lines that have been coming through since the break. North in the Vanarama Conference North, a lot of goals. North Ferriby 1, Gainsborough Trinity 0. Colwyn Bay Stockport 1, Brackley 1, Gloucester 0, Stalybridge 2, Hyde 1 as well. Corner though to Harrogate on this right hand side. It's whipped in here by Milligan, goes up towards the back post beyond Walshaw and out. And actually I hadn't figured that it was a corner because it didn't particularly look to have taken a deflection, but in the end it's out and behind for safety and a goal kick.
Yeah, there were no complaints that it were a corner, so it must have taken just a little knock along the way, but just shows you there that the corner's put in, and there wasn't too much on that corner, and it's basically past everyone and gone out of play immediately. So just shows you the wind, if you use it to your advantage like Guiseley did in the first half. But Harrogate, they just seem to haven't found a way to take full advantage of the conditions being in their favour. And for Guiseley now, they will try and just look and try and pick Harrogate off, because they're going to throw men forward now just in vain to try and get a couple of goals back and try and get something from this game.
Well, we've seen some good goals this afternoon. 3 of them, all of them to Guiseley. 3-0 up here as we hit 55 minutes in this game. The Lions comprehensively in front, playing against the wind though now, and Harrogate were building up a bit of head of steam, bit of pressure, and you still feel that if they were to get one with the conditions in their favour in the second period, they could press and press. Goal kick at the moment, couple of other score lines. North Ferriby have got an equaliser now against Gainsborough Trinity, 1-1 in that game, and it's Kidderminster 0, Forest Green Rovers 4 in the Conference Premier. The Vanarama Conference and the Vanarama Conference North, the only competitions taking place outside of the Premier League this afternoon, and our listeners have put us a ban on giving you the Premier League scores so they can enjoy match of the day. It's the kind of service that we give you. Not missing anything as we ramble on here. Guiseley have a throw in right back position. The ball was out of play for a while there. It's picked up by Alex Johnson in the halfway line, and he lays it back here to Danny Lowe. Guiseley need to hold on to this ball for a little spell as Harrogate look to muster a response in the second half. They still know if they can get a goal, they can perhaps change the angle of this game, change the aspect of this game in their favour. The free kick has gone Harrogate's way on the halfway line. Jake Lawler just pulling down Milligan. Milligan will take the free kick a few yards in the Guiseley half, takes it short, puts his foot on the ball, plays it square now and gives it to Fallowfield. He threads it towards the edge of the D. A little flick on comes from Clayton. The ball in here to Nelthorpe. His cross up towards the back post. James Walshaw stretches, tries to get on the end of it, nods it out for a goal kick, and it's behind for safety for Guiseley. But I actually think Jamie Milligan's playing an important role for Harrogate in the second half. He's a player who'll get his foot on the ball, and he seems to play that same sort of role that Danny Boschel does of just trying to bring other players into the game. And
I think it's one of them roles where a fan may look at it and think they don't really appreciate it, but it's the kind of role that you need in a team. If a team's going to do well, you need a player like that who's just not interested in doing the fancy stuff. They just want to get the ball and help their teammates get along, and it's a role that a lot of footballers appreciate. They appreciate people who do that role, and Milligan, he could turn out to be a very handy signing for Harrogate, but hopefully not today.
Ollie Johnson's won the ball back for Guiseley inside the Harrogate half. He plays it up towards the head of Gavin Rothery Doesn't get there. Gets the ball back though. Good spin. Rothery's tackled firmly by Nelthorpe. The ball is well won by Harrogate. Picked up now by Louis Swain, who has a really good run at the back line. Well watched by Ben Parker. Super tackle comes in from the former Leeds United man. He plays it up towards Alex Johnson. And Alex Johnson's not able to win the ball on that occasion. Question mark does come in over the fact that Alex Johnson will probably have to play the 90 now, with Nicky Boschel already brought into the fray, with Wayne Brooksby coming off with a tweak of the hamstring earlier on in this game. Gavin Rothery and Andy Holdsworth exchange passes just inside the Harrogate half, and then Rothery and Ollie Johnson mix up their messages, and the ball goes out for a Harrogate throw. Just inside their half on the left-hand side, taken short by Nelthorpe into the feet of Fallowfield. Fallowfield tries to go past Gavin Rothery. Rothery sticks to his task. It's forced all the way back to the goalkeeper, Peter Crook, who lofts it long. Flicked up in the air there by Danny Lowe. Picked up again by Andy Holdsworth, who plays one over the top, looking to release Nicky Boschel, and he has done. But great defending comes in there. Good awareness from Dave McKirk to snuff out the danger at the expense of a throw-in, I think, right on the right-hand side of the, just by the corner flag. It might even be a corner. It is indeed a corner, sorry. It's difficult to see from where we're sat. On the right-hand side, Guiseley now getting the big men forward. Not all of them. Jake Lawler and Danny Ellis have stayed at the back. This one goes into the area. It's up in the air. And won back here by Gavin Rothery. Back here with Nicky Boschel. Score of that third goal, a superb header. And in the end, the clearance goes all the way into the Guiseley half from the cross, which Danny Ellis takes, plays it long, looking to release Alex Johnson. And Alex Johnson has won a free kick. He's been pulled back by Luke Shields. Shields is complaining to the linesman on that far side. I think must have given the decision, because the referee, to Alf Greenwood, he was far away from that one. And on this near side, Simon Porter, the assistant referee, must have flagged, I believe. And it's a free kick in a dangerous position for Guiseley. Yeah, the assistant did flag, and the referee, I don't think the referee was going to give anything. So, but you know, Johnson, his shirt's being pulled, and from the linesman's angle, it were a clear free kick. Nicky Boschel whips this one in, just hits the upright, and behind it took a wicked curl in the air from Nicky Boschel from the free kick. The goalkeeper looked like it was covered, but it curled in, and I think it came off the sort of the angle of the upright and the crossbar before going behind for a goal kick. But another great moment there from Nicky Boschel. Not sure quite how much he intended it to curl, like it did in the end. Just fantastic. The goalkeeper was well and truly beaten, and it's one of them efforts where if that goes into the top corner, wow, it would have outdone his header just. But you know, he's trying to set up his own goal of the month competition on his own. Well, if he gets another one, we'll be very happy. But two fantastic moments involving Nicky Boschel. The goal and now a free kick that's just gone wide. We'll have to remind him of that corner that he shanked straight to the defender, so he doesn't get too big ahead. A couple of other goals going in. Oxford City 1, Leamington 0. And Stalybridge now scored a couple of quick-fire goals there, 4-1 up against Hyde. So normal service has been resumed there. Oxford City's game involves a goal, and Hyde are getting soundly beaten, I'm afraid. Ball forward from Harrogate into the Guiseley half. Cut out by Danny Lowe, given to Gavin Rothery. And the Lions, who for a spell in the beginning of this second half looked like they were going to be backs against the wall, have had a lot more of the ball as we head into the final half an hour, with the Lions leading by 3-0. Playing against the wind, which has died down again a little bit. And Danny Lowe plays it up to the halfway line. Jake Lawler battling with Louis Swain. Louis Swain does well to win the header, but it finds its way back to Danny Lowe. He plays it over the top, and this time it's going to be comfortably all the way back to Peter Crook. And Crook comes out of his area, plays it long. Flicked up in the air by Jake Lawler. Headed on, and Clayton had found himself a little bit of space, but good defending between Lowe and Ellis. And the ball goes back, and I don't want to jinx it, but the last time we conceded a goal was back in November in the league. Back in November now against Barrow in that first half. Since then, the only goals we've conceded have been in the trophy. I was just going to correct you there and say Chorley, and then of course it would in the trophy. So they'd be fantastic to keep another clean sheet. And I think Drenchy just what a fantastic goalkeeper is at this level, and
another achievement for him to keep another clean sheet. Well, hopefully.
Well, hey, come on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But
I've jinxed it now. I can see 4 now.
62 minutes gone. Guys, we've just got a free kick. Alex Johnson has been pulled inside the Harrogate half. The ball into the feet now of Ollie Johnson on the right-hand side. His cross is going to go behind and out for a goal kick. Just caught too much of it. Another couple of goals. Altrincham 3, Chester 1. Welling 0, Dover 1. And Lowestoft have got an equaliser. It's Lowestoft 1, Boston 1. And we're going to have a change, a double change actually for Harrogate Town. First of all, Jake Spates coming on. And he's replacing James Walshaw. So Walshaw's afternoon is over, and Louis Swain is going to come off for a young man, Jordan Thulis, who I thought was very impressive on Boxing Day when he eventually came on. A real tricky character. So surprising that. Louis Swain, I thought, has had a good half. But Walshaw off, that's a real one for the books. Perhaps he's got a niggle, but he won't be happy, I'm sure, not to be playing any further part in this game at Nethermoor. Guiseley now with the ball on the halfway line, picked up here by Jake Lawler. Lawler feeds it to Danny Boschel. Boschel plays it forward, and Nicky Boschel. Brothers weren't on the same wavelength there because Nicky Boschel had pulled off to the left and Danny Boschel played it in the space where he had been occupying. Guiseley win the ball back though again. Ollie Johnson on this right-hand side. He's got Alex Johnson in the box to aim for only. Ollie Johnson's running at this back line here, goes towards the right-hand side, down towards the corner flag now, helped out by Craig Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe muscles him off, he holds his strong positional play from Craig Nelthorpe, wins the ball back very fairly, gets it up to the halfway line, picked up by Danny Boschel, and then good ball forward from Andy Holdsworth, finds Nicky Boschel, who spins on it, gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery, little reverse pass to find Ollie Johnson in the area, back heel from Ollie Johnson, finds Nicky Boschel. Guys, you just can't get the shot away though. Nicky Boschel plays it across, and a header down and a goal, and what a goal! Head knocked down from Gavin Rothery inside the 6-yard box, but the build-up play was absolutely sublime from Guiseley, and it's Guiseley's 4th. Guiseley 4, Harrogate Town 0.
Well, a team playing with confidence does that. You know, you've got to just say what a fantastic goal that is. The build-up play, the patience, a couple of tricks thrown in there for good measure, and then all rounded off with a sound finish as well from Rothery, and it's just fantastic goal. And the team look like they've got a bit of confidence now, and you know, long may it continue going into 2015.
What a start this is. I mean, we thought when the two teams came back out in the break we would be seeing goals, possibly Harrogate getting one, and it being a real cling-on session in that second half, but this has been a very comprehensive performance from the Lions since a sort of patchy period just after the break. They're now dominant in this game, 4-0 to the good, and this just after Harrogate have made all 3 of their substitutes as they look to roll the dice and try and get back into this game. Still time left though for a couple of goals that could change the dynamic of this if Harrogate were to get them, and they're coming forward now with a bit of purpose, and Nicky Boschel having to put a firm tackle in to take the ball away. It's come down the right hand side. Lloyd Kerry picks it up, he's muscled off by Ben Parker. Parker can't get past his man, and then it's out for a Guiseley throw in life back position. But what unexpectedly impressive performance, I think, from Guiseley. You know, we were worried that missing Adam Boys, we were worried that we would perhaps find goals harder to come by, and instead we've racked up four different goal scorers as well, and the 4th and the 3rd this afternoon have been 2 excellent goals indeed, and Guiseley have a throw inside their own half. Andy Holdsworth up to Alex Johnson, good tackle comes in on him. Fallowfield, the 18-year-old, plays a good ball forward, trying to find young Jordan Thulis, and it's gone behind for a Guiseley throw anyway in the right back position. Just a couple of other score lines just to tell you about. 2 quick-fire goals again for Oxford City. They're now 3-0 up at home to Leamington. Kidderminster 1, Forest Green 4, Woking 0, Eastleigh 1. If we keep this up, we might have to end up going to Eastleigh and Dover. Try negotiating those away trips at home. Guiseley now on the defensive because Jake Spates coming forward for the visitors. He's forced back. Harrogate possessing the ball. Back to McGurk. Guiseley having to defend and keep good shape. keeping Harrogate back at the moment, but the ball forward, flicked on there by Thulis rather, and eventually played in by Fallowfield onto the edge of the area where Thulis takes over. He goes towards the byline. He's tackled well by Danny Lowe, but it'll be a Harrogate corner.
Yeah, I think Harrogate, it's just all about them trying to get a consolation now. They know the game is done, but Guiseley, just what a fantastic performance it's been. If you'd have told me at the end of that Boxing Day game when it ended 0-0 and neither side really had a clear-cut chance that this is what the scoreline would be, I wouldn't believe you.
Corner comes in into the penalty area. Stephen Dredge doesn't get on it. It's nodded into the goal, right inside the 6-yard box. I'm not quite sure who got it. I think it might have been Jake Spate. But Stephen Drench came for it, didn't get it. It was headed into the goal. And now, I think it was Jake Spate who got the header. Now it's Guiseley 4, Harrogate Town 1.
Well, the ball's in, and it's just the wind seems to have caught Steve Drench out a little bit. The defence as well have been caught out by the wind, and it ends a fantastic run that Drench has been on in terms of keeping clean sheets in the league. But Spate there, it's very much like Jake Lawler's goal. He's on the line and it's a tap in. He's tapped it in with his head, but for Guiseley now, they just want to make sure that they don't give Harrogate another goal, because you don't want to give them any momentum going into the last 15-20 minutes.
Well, that is it. It'll be all about impetus now, especially with the wind behind them. If they could get the second, they'll be thinking, well, you never know. And Guiseley need to keep them out, keep hold of the ball, but at the moment it's Harrogate who are on the ball with Kerry. He plays it forward. It's cut out this time. Picked up here by Danny Boschel. He's clipped by Lloyd Kerry. Free kick's given. And Guiseley just take the time to get up. Danny Boschel taking a little clip there. Another scoreline. Barrow 0, Fylde 2. So Fylde have scored a second. So Barrow 0, Fylde 2. That's going to be an important scoreline. Kidderminster have got a second back in their game. And this free kick is played up to the edge of the halfway line, and Alex Johnson has been tugged back by Shields. Referee didn't give it, but the linesman on this near side, Simon Porter, has done so. He's flagged once again, and a free kick has now been given to Guiseley, a yard up from the edge of the 18-yard box. And this is another chance, and a similar one to where Nicky Boschel hit the upright before.
Well, I think the linesman's given it because Johnson's basically dragged into the linesman's position, so the linesman had to give it there, and this is compared to where Boschel hit before, it's a good chance.
So Boschel and Holdsworth stand over it. Boschel swings this one into the edge of the 6-yard box. This time it's well dealt with by Town, headed up to the halfway line and headed away by Danny Ellis. Jake Lawler's first touch isn't so good, but his second is excellent. Plays the ball in to Alex Johnson. Good square ball here to give Andy Holdsworth. Johnson took a knock after the ball. Referee gives the advantage. Holdsworth to the edge of the 18-yard box. Plays one into Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth gets it back, gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery tries to thread it through to Alex Johnson. Can't get it past the defence. It goes back to Boschel. Boschel plays it in. It's a good one here. Nicky Boschel's offside. And he must have just been a fraction offside, but the linesman's flag was up. And there's no complaints from Guiseley, and Harrogate can come away swiftly back towards this Guiseley goal. And they find Adam Clayton. Clayton plays it out to the right-hand side. The ball played into the area. It's a high one up in the air. Stephen Drench watches it, and it bounces behind for a goal kick. Guiseley 4, Harrogate Town 1.
Well, you can just see the rest of his teammates are just trying to help Alex Johnson get his goal, because Gavin Rothery there had every right to have a shot. He tried to pass it to him, it was blocked. He then tries to pass it to him again, and Ollie Johnson has done that as well, trying to find Alex. And I think it's just all about going into the next game full of confidence. If he could get a goal before the end of this match, it looks like he will be playing the full 90. His confidence levels would be sky high, and that can only be a good thing for the rest of his teammates and for Guiseley in general.
The goal kick taken by Stephen Drench up in the air, flicked on. Ollie Johnson goes to close down in the centre circle, but Milligan comes away with the ball and plays a good one down the left-hand side, finds Thulis. Thulis is up against Holdsworth, bit of trickery, and he goes into the area, plays it in, and it's blocked on the line. Guiseley managed eventually to get it away, but a super shot after a great cross there from Jordan Thulis. Blocked on the line. I'm not even sure it wasn't a Harrogate Town player who was part of the blocking moment. Now Nelthorpe gives it here to Spate. Spate gets the ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's picked up again by Thulis inside the 6-yard box, and he's put the ball into the back of the net. And Jordan Thulis has got Harrogate Town second. And if you asked us what we didn't want to happen, it was 2 quick-fire goals to Harrogate Town, and 2 within 5 minutes have happened. Jake Spate and Jordan Thulis, 2 substitutes that Simon Weaver made just before Guiseley got the 4th, have now scored, and it's here Guiseley 4, Harrogate Town 2.
Well, it's just a little bit worrying there. Good play by Harrogate Town. I've got to say, the 2 substitutes that Simon Weaver made could be seen as questionable, but they've paid off with a goal from each, and it's a good bit of play by Thulis. He gets into the right position, and it's a smart finish to beat Drench. And now for Guiseley with 15 minutes to go, you've got to say they'll be looking at the watch, because Harrogate Town, they just seem to have gained a bit of confidence, a bit of momentum, and that's exactly what a goal can do.
Well, 16 minutes to go, like you say, Tom. If you were just 2-0 down, I know it's slightly different when you've conceded 4 psychologically, but you'd be thinking this is on a knife edge still, and it still is now. 4-2. The Town defence clears, headed on by Danny Ellis up towards Nicky Boschel. He's been beaten to it well by Matt Bloomer. Matt Bloomer takes it away, gives it to Milligan on the own 18-yard line. And again, Milligan just getting under a bit of pressure here. Rothery closes him down, but Milligan shows a very cool, collected head and gets it up towards the halfway line. Ben Parker appears to go through the back of Clayton, nothing given. And Guiseley come away with the ball again, just inside their own half. And good tackle comes in here on Danny Lowe from Clayton, but it's good work again from Guiseley to clear their lines. And they need to be more attentive, though, in possession of the ball, with Andy Holdsworth playing it up to Ollie Johnson. His shirt's being tugged at by Nelthorpe. The referee doesn't want to give the free kick, Alex Johnson. And eventually Danny Ellis has to come across and clear. Alex Johnson can't control the ball. And Simon Weaver motioning to the referee to add the time on as the ball goes out, and the Harrogate bench, the Guiseley bench return a new ball. This one will be taken by Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe, his throw down the left-hand side, cleared by Andy Holdsworth, up in the air once again. And this one, as you can probably hear, bounces off the roof of the stand and behind, and again Harrogate urging the side on. Urging the return of the ball, sorry. Another goal in that game at the top. The first and the second teams playing this afternoon are Barrow and Fylde. Fylde were 2-0 up, and now Barrow have scored one back. Sounds like a bit of a grandstand finish there at Holker Street. It's 4-2 to Guiseley here. And Harrogate are full of momentum after getting 2 goals in 5 minutes. And what looked like a hopeless cause is now much more hopeful for the visitors. The ball with Bloomer. Bloomer up against Parker. Parker gets the foot in. Beats the full back to the ball on that occasion. Bloomer plays it in again. Tries to find Thulis, who got the second. His cross is blocked, and Harrogate Town have another corner. And we need another ball as well. That's a third in about as many minutes that have been lost. And now Harrogate Town know if they could get a goal here, or a goal in the next couple of minutes or so, we'd be in for a grandstand finish.
Yeah, and for guys, it's just all about keeping the concentration levels up and ensuring that Harrogate don't get anything from this corner.
The ball whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header from Jake Lawler. Gets it away. Picked up now. Gavin Rothery on the counter-attack, though. Takes it away from Fallowfield. Comes over the halfway line. Only Alex Johnson up with him. He's got Nicky Boschel now square, but Boschel just takes it past Milligan. Is forced out to the left-hand side now. Boschel with 3 to aim for if he can deliver. Gets a good one up towards the back post. Headed back and away by Kerry. Only towards Gavin Rothery on the edge of the D, but he's back to goal. Gives it short to Nicky Boschel. Boschel's wayward ball forces Jake Lawler into quite a interception. Then the ball's square towards Andy Holdsworth, who misjudges it, and the ball's gone out, and Harrogate Town have a chance to come forward in numbers, as they do on the halfway line here. Nelthorpe into the feet of Thulis. Thulis cuts in field. Good running from the substitute. He's got options ahead of him, plays a nice ball in towards the edge of the D, just overhit it on that occasion. Spate is screaming at him that he should have gone to the left-hand side. Instead he went to the right, which was the other angle, and it's gone safely back to Stephen Drench.
Yeah, just looked a bit worrying there for a second. Feaheny getting the ball, and it all comes from Danny Boschel just misplacing a pass in Harrogate Town. You can tell they've just got a bit of confidence now. They're getting the ball forward, and they're getting men forward as well. And it's almost like when they were 4-0 down, they looked like this was it, the game was done. Now it's 4-2. Back of their minds, they must be thinking we can get something from this if we continue playing like we have for the last 10 minutes. So Guiseley, it's just really important for them to just basically kill the game and just keep the ball, keep possession, and make sure that the momentum that Harrogate Town have right now is put to a standstill.
It's got to stifle it, haven't we? We have, and it's not at the moment working. McGurk, after riding a real spell for the first 10 minutes of the second half, Guiseley have been brought right backs against the walls. They're still 4-2 to the good, still a 2-goal cushion, but you really sense the wind with Harrogate Town at the moment. Now Ollie Johnson plays it towards Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth down the right-hand flank, gives it to Alex Johnson. Back to goal, up against the defence. The Town defence work hard. It's infield here to Danny Boschel. Back here to Alex Johnson on the right-hand side. Johnson cuts inside. He's up against Nelthorpe. Plays it just past him. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. He skips around. Loomer gets a shot away on the left foot. Always rising over the crossbar and behind. But the best move, I think, for Guiseley since they conceded that second goal.
Really good play there by Alex Johnson and Gavin Rothery. And it looks like Alex Johnson's just gone down with a touch of cramp because obviously he hasn't played 90 minutes in a couple of months, so he's just trying to get rid of that cramp and continue. But it looks like Guiseley will be making their final change. But good play there, and Gavin Rothery, it's a good effort, but with the wind against him, it was always going to be going over the bar.
Yeah, it does look like a change is going to happen, and I think it might be Alex Johnson. I've just got a slight view of the board there. It did look like a number 9, but I'm not quite sure. Is it Jack Stockdill who's coming on? Now, he obviously wouldn't be the replacement. Perhaps Ollie Johnson would go up on his own, Jack Stockdill into midfield. But at the moment, we just wait to see how Alex Johnson is as he trundles off field, having had that touch of cramp. Guiseley won't make the change just yet. Jack Stockdill's going back down. It was the number 9 that was on the substitution board, but he's going to come back on. We continue anyway. 10 minutes to go. Two goals between these two sides. 4-2 to Guiseley. But after being 4-0 up, Harrogate Town have got 2 good goals. Now Alex Johnson's forward. He plays the ball towards Nicky Boschel, who held his hands up because he knew he was in an offside position. In the end, Crook can come out right into right-back position, and it's gone out for a Guiseley throw anyway. His clearance curled out and back into play. Still, the substitute isn't going to be played just yet. Mark Bauer has changed his mind. Andy Holdsworth on the ball with a throw. Alex Johnson continues. Nicky Boschel's up there, and Andy Holdsworth on this right-hand side goes towards Ollie Johnson, who can't control, and it's gone out for a Harrogate throw in left-back position. It's definitely going to be a change because they're still wondering who's going to replace whom.
I think Jordan Henry's going to come on now.
Flick on up in the air. Danny Lowe's under pressure from Jake Spate. He gives the ball back to Stephen Drench. Good firm foot through it from the goalkeeper. Up towards the centre circle inside the Harrogate half. No mean feat in this wind. And Milligan gives the ball back here to Fallowfield. And then the ball over the top. And Thulis has found himself some space down this left-hand side. Goes into the area, plays the ball across. It's headed away, not convincingly, and eventually helped away by Andy Holdsworth. Up to the halfway line. Harrogate still with the ball. Still trailing 4-2 here. But Guiseley have still leading. The Lions are still leading 4-2, but Harrogate certainly in good momentum since scoring those 2 goals within 5 minutes. Milligan now, square to Kerry. Milligan again just dictating play from midfield, gives the ball to Fallowfield. Good ball towards the edge of the 18-yard box, which Clayton takes down, lays it to the right-hand side. Guiseley have to defend this one again. The ball into the area. Stephen Drench watches it. It comes back off the crossbar. Drench misjudged it. Headed away by Danny Ellis. Only as far now as Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe with the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. Almost gets past Ollie Johnson. Good enough tackle from Ollie Johnson. Gives it to Danny Boschel. He's under pressure from Nelthorpe again. Danny Boschel does well to win the ball, plays it into Nicky Boschel. And now there's a running race here for Alex Johnson, up against Shields on the right-hand side. Johnson goes past Shields, goes down towards the byline. Shields recovers, gets plays back, and then his cross into the area from Johnson is easily cut out. Nicky Boschel was in a good position on the edge of the 18-yard box, and now Fallowfield comes away with the ball for Harrogate. Plays a beautiful ball over the left-hand side, just beyond Jake Spate. And it's gone out for a Guiseley throw in right back position. And finally, we'll see that substitute, I think, that we were waiting for earlier. And the man who's going off is Ollie Johnson. And Ollie Johnson is to be replaced by Jack Stockdale, Tom.
Yeah, well, I think they had a problem with the board. That's what happened, because they were trying to up the number by one, and what they did was they upped it to Jordan Henry's number, and Jordan Henry was getting ready to come on, and Mark Bauer realised what had happened, so they've actually upped it by one. Ollie Johnson's the man to come off instead of Alex Johnson, and in the end that substitute's made. But wow, if that had gone in there, Steve Drench was beaten and hits the post, and if that had gone in 4-3 with 5 minutes to go, you wouldn't want that to be happening, because it's just been an incredible last half an hour of football by both sides. And wow, after the 0-0 on Boxing Day, all the goals seem to have been coming today.
Well, we've certainly had an entertaining game this afternoon, no question about that. Jack Stockdale into the action early doors, gets a header, it's out for a Town throw. A couple of scorelines coming through in the Vanarama Conference North. Now Stalybridge scoring more goals, 6-1 up against Hyde. Hyde had led in that game earlier on today. Fallowfield now on the ball for Harrogate, beaten to it this time by Boschel. Jack Stockdale plays a poor ball, and now Harrogate can win it back here with Milligan. Plays it, a beautiful one over the top. Spate takes it down on his chest but can't control at the second. Harrogate still in possession of the ball, still driving towards that Guiseley goal, helped away by Danny Ellis, picked up again by Milligan, who's dictated things since he's come on in that second period. When he's been on the ball, he's been calm and collected and helping Harrogate build up play, as they are again doing here. Shields comes forward from the back, plays the ball down the left-hand side to Thulis, another real live wire player who's scored a goal since coming on with half an hour to play. His cross is blocked. Gavin Rothery gets a foot across it, but Jack Stockdale, with his facing his own goal, has to give it back to Gavin Rothery, and guys, he can't quite clear their lines well enough. Now there might be a counter-attack. Stockdale comes forward, Alex Johnson to his right. Stockdale's got him in there, and he's just strayed offside. Stockdale just delayed the pass to the wrong time, and Alex Johnson just frustrated, and that was a good opportunity for guys in. That was a chance really, if nothing else, just to get the ball down the other end, and it's been somewhat wasted. Harrogate now urging their side on, 5 minutes to go, 4-2 to Guiseley, but Harrogate with the momentum at the moment. Gavin Rothery gives the ball back to Andy Holdsworth, gets it up here to Stockdale. Stockdale turns. Alex Johnson and McGurk having a bit of a battle on the edge of the centre circle. The ball out towards Alex Johnson on the left-hand side. Now he's got Ben Parker coming up on the overlap from left back. Gives it to Parker. Parker's only got Nicky Boschel to aim for in the area. He finds it, but Boschel skews the ball over from an impossibly close range. He just needed to make enough to put it in the back of the net and put this game to bed, but instead he has missed from inside the 6-yard box, and it's behind for a Harrogate goal kick.
Well, that's the chance to end the game, to really kill it off. And Nicky Boschel, he scored a wonder goal with a wonder header. He then nearly scored a wonder free kick, and then he's about 2 yards out. And he'll be disappointed with himself that he's not scored there, because it's such a great chance for him just to give the lads, just a bit of a boost. And I'll say this now, it'll give Harrogate a boost with 5 minutes to go. They've got away with one there. They've got a free kick in a good position now as well. Yeah,
free kick just midway through the Guiseley half, and it's fairly central, but it's a real opportunity to bundle the bodies forward and for Harrogate to see if they can get that third goal that would give them a real chance in this game. It's whipped in now by Kerry, headed away. Kerry will take the ball down again, lays it back here to Milligan. Milligan looks ahead of him. He's got 5 or 6 players on the edge of the 18-yard box. He overhits it this time, and it's brilliant from our perspective. It's gone behind for a goal kick. 3 minutes to go. And Danny Boschel just rallying the troops there, encouraging us on as we head towards full time, with Harrogate really in good momentum since getting their 2 goals. Guys, he's still 4-2 up here. Couple of goals as well to tell you about. Oxford City 3, Leamington 1. Leamington coming back with a goal there after trailing 3-0. Tamworth 1, Solihull 1. Tamworth have been in great form under Andy Morrell. And Stalybridge have now got a 7-1 up against Hyde. And earlier on we're saying that Hyde were leading by a goal to nil. In fact, Tamworth have just scored a second, so it's 2-1 now, Tamworth against Solihull. It's a free kick to Harrogate again, inside the Guiseley half. 2 minutes to go of normal time. Free kick comes in from Milligan. It's a good one. It's in the side of the 6-yard area. Free effort for Bloomer. A great save from Stephen Drench. Superb, potentially match-winning game save there from Stephen Drench to block Bloomer, who was free in the edge of the 6-yard box. The ball all the way back here with the Town goalkeeper, Peter Crook. The ball now with Fallowfield. Fallowfield looks ahead and chips it forward. Just inside his own half he is. He doesn't get the distance, and Nicky Boschel can intercept. Jack Stockdill lays it back here to Parker, and Parker infield down to Jake Lawler is going to be put under immense pressure. Boschel plays it back again to Lowe, and Guiseley have to go long. Alex Johnson trying to battle up against McGurk. McGurk wins it. Guiseley win the second phase though, with Stockdill tries to dribble past two players and is not surprisingly beaten to it. Girls are going in the Conference North. We'll give you them when we get a break, but Craig Nelthorpe at the moment coming over the halfway line as he presses right towards the end of this game, looking for that goal back. Spate now on the left-hand side. Back here with Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe square actually to Milligan, but Milligan comes forward with the ball, looks to distribute, little chip forward into the penalty area where Clayton was free for a second. Still Harrogate can't get the ball, and in the end they're penalised for a nudge or a push or something that's not particularly clear to us here in the stand, and guys, get a free kick, thankfully. Using up a few more seconds. 45 seconds to go. I've never known it. It feels quite tense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
2 goals to the good with less than a minute to go.
I know. Then again, we're naturally we naturally think that we're always going to lose. So, but I mean, it has just been an incredible last 15-20 minutes, because Harrogate Town, the first 60 minutes, they didn't turn up really. They didn't really create chances. Their defence looked quite weak. The last half an hour, you've got to say, they've upped their game tremendously. And if they'd have played like that the full 90, they'd have won today by the looks of it.
Thulis now coming forward there, dribbling his way through, finds the ball to Clayton. Clayton back as the 90 is just about up here. The ball onto the right-hand side here with McGurk. Crossed in now into the 6-yard box, headed towards a goal by Clayton, but it's always rising, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Plus now we're just looking for the stoppage time to go up, and it is going to be 4 minutes. So 4 minutes to be added, with Guiseley leading by 4 goals to 2. Tamworth leading 2-1 against Solihull. Stockport County have taken a winning goal potentially at Colwyn Bay. So Colwyn Bay 1, Stockport County 2. Stalybridge finished 7-1, and North Ferriby a late winner potentially at home to Gainsborough, as Stephen Drench just hits touch here with his goal kick. So the pressure will continue unabated, and Harrogate come forward once again up towards Fallowfield. Good header from Andy Holdsworth to take the ball away from him. Another final score coming in. Steve Kittrick, who I think is unbeaten now for his new charges at Telford. His side have drawn 0-0 with Nuneaton. Stephen Drench taking his time with the clearance as we head into the 4 minutes of stoppages. We've had the first one, and Craig Nelthorpe gives it short to Milligan. Andy Holdsworth intercepts, clears back into Harrogate's half. Crook rolls it out, or throws it out with great accuracy and pace to the right hand side towards Bloomer. Bloomer plays it towards Clayton. It's cut out again by the Lions, and again Harrogate Town win a throw in, which McGurk will take on the halfway line on the right hand side. Infield here to Shields, and Harrogate on the halfway line looking to play this long eventually. Nelthorpe chips it down the left hand side towards Spate. Spate on the left flank up against Holdsworth, goes back, gives it to Fallowfield. Fallowfield square to Milligan. He plays the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, but it's cut out well by Danny Boschel, and Jack Stockdill plays the ball all the way back to Stephen Drench, and Guiseley eventually clear and eventually win the ball here with Danny Boschel. Can he release Alex Johnson? He can on the left-hand side, but he's got 4 or 5 players immediately around him. One of them is McGurk, who puts the challenge in, and I think Alex Johnson was quite happy for him to do so and win the throw. It's gone out into the cricket field beyond, and Guiseley will just take their time with this throw, which Ben Parker steps forward to take. 4-2 up. The Lions here against Harrogate Town will be making another substitute, a real time user. And at the moment, though, Alex Johnson is on the ball going down towards the corner flag, up against Bloomer. Johnson gets the ball back towards Stockdill. Stockdill, almost had a chance to get hold of the ball, but slipped at the crucial moment. Harrogate clear up to the halfway line, knocked down by Spate, and towards Fallowfield. Picked up now by Nelthorpe, who comes over the halfway line. Plays it towards Clayton. Won by Spate. Now Spate comes forward with it, plays it in towards the edge of the D and tries to get the return ball from Thulis. Danny Ellis with a good tackle. Back here with Nelthorpe. Nelthorpe to the left flank. Clayton, chance to shoot from distance, actually sprays the ball to the right hand side. He's laid back here to Milligan now, who chips one into the area, this time low, under no pressure, clears. Stockdill clears right up to the halfway line, and Alex Johnson not getting any favours from the referee here as he battles with McGurk to try and win that ball back with 30 seconds by my reckoning of the 4 to go. And a raking ball across field from Nelthorpe, this time not so successful. This is the chance for Guiseley just to make that substitute. And this time it is Alex Johnson who'll go off, and a great afternoon he's had. And he will be replaced even, by Jordan Hendry.
Well, it's good to see him making his debut for Guiseley, and with about 25 seconds to go, just get a little run out, get to know the crowd. The crowd will get to know him, and Alex Johnson getting good round of applause. I think that'll be one of the main reasons Bowers taking him off. Not only is it wasting a bit of time, but it gets AJ the round of applause. He's had put in a good shift today, and give him that confidence as well.
So guys, you have a throw in left back position. It's finished full time. Barrow 1, Filed 2. So Filed top of the table, 3 points clear now. Guiseley will be hoping to pull them back when we play them on the 20th of January here. Harrogate now win the throw. Come back onto the halfway line with the ball. Referee says that's that. Guiseley have held out after racing to a 4-goal lead in the second half here against Harrogate Town. All credit to both sides. They've been party to an excellent afternoon's entertainment, excellent game of football. And it's finished here with Guiseley winning 4-2. What a story to this game, Tom. That first half, the 2-0 lead, the goals we could have had, the goals we did get then in the second half, rather unexpectedly when we played against the wind. But then Harrogate switched on, they got those 2 goals, and it was real harum-scarum stuff towards the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm almost speechless. This was just an incredible game of football. Guys go 4-0 up. They had so many chances during the first half when they were 2-0 up, and it looked like they might regret them, and in the end they nearly did. But to go 4-0 up, and then Harrogate, they make a couple of changes, and it just changed the whole game. They started then to get forward, they created chances, they looked lively, and when it got to 4-2, they had a good chance with the ball hitting the crossbar. If that were 4-3, 5 minutes to go, you never know. That being said, Nicky Boschel, well, it's something he won't want to talk about, but it's a couple of yards out. It's a miss after what had been a fantastic header from him before that. Brought him back down to earth like we said it would. But I just think it's been an incredible game of football. This is an advert for the Conference North, the Vanarama North. Great action, 2 teams who've just given it their all today. And well, the result's gone well for Guiseley in the end. 3 points, that'll do nicely.
Exactly what we needed, the 3 points to keep us on the trail of Filed, who are currently top of the table after their fine 2-1 victory at Barrow this afternoon, as everyone breaks down into hysterics about me just here in the main stand. But let's go down those final scores. The Vanarama Conference, Alfreton Lincoln has obviously postponed. Altrincham 4, Chester 1. Barnet 1, Aldershot 0, Braintree 3, Dartford 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Torquay 1, Grimsby 1, Macclesfield 2, Kidderminster 2, Forest Green 4, Telford and Nuneaton 0-0. Steve Kittrick gets another point for his new charges. Welling 0, Dover 2, Woking 1, Eastleigh 1. And then the important ones in the Vanarama Conference North. First of all, Barrow 1, AFC Filed 2, Brackley 1, Gloucester 0, Bradford Park Avenue, Chorley was postponed earlier today, Colwyn Bay 1, Stockport 2. Guiseley have won here 4-2 against Harrogate. Hensford 0, Worcester 0, Lowestoft 1, Boston United 1, that game's still going on, North Ferriby 2, Gainsborough 1, Oxford City 3, Leamington 1, Stalybridge 7, Hyde 1, and Tamworth 3, Solihull 1. That one not quite finished yet. And so let's have a quick look to see if we can tell you what that means to the table here before we sign off, as Guiseley's 4-2 victory means that they will keep a pace with the teams at the top of the table. Remarkably so, though, it is Fylde who take the top in the first game of the new year. 49 points from 22 games. Barrow now 46 from 23. Guiseley just a point behind Barrow. 45 from 23. Tamworth now into 4th place with that 3-1 victory as it stands. They are 39 from 24. Chorley down to 5th, 38 from 21. Plenty of games in hand above the teams ahead of them. Solihull slip 37 from 22, and Oxford City 37 from 23. At the bottom, bad news for Hyde again. 7-1 defeat leaves them 11 points from 25. Bradford Park Avenue now 20 from 21. Gloucester 21 from 22. Stalybridge with that big victory, 22 from 23, lifts them clear of the relegation places this evening. So it's been an excellent afternoon's entertainment, a fantastic game, and 3 points for Guiseley. Couldn't be better way to start off 2015. We'll be back on Sunday for the trip down to Worcester. Hope you can join us then. Cheers for listening.